Yo, how is everybody doing? Welcome to RossonARI TV. We will be talking about Milan today, as always, and very interesting news has come out in these past days in the pursuit of Zirkzee. It seems like AC Milan's pursuit of Zirkzee might have some problems. And it really comes down to the commission fees. It really comes down to that. The agent commission fees seem to be pretty high. Apparently, this agent is an agent that I'm discovering right now. It's a name that I've not really known about in ever, really. So he's a new agent that I'm discovering right now. But apparently, this is an agent that has been working in the upper echelon of football for decades. So it is a very tough agent to deal with. This is an agent with a lot of history. It is an agent that is quite expert at what he does. It is an agent with probably a lot of networks. So it's not some random agent that we're just battling against. Apparently, I found out from Padula that this agent was involved in the Tevez deal in 2011, I believe it was. I believe it was 2011 or 2012. Milan was interested in getting Carlos Tevez, and they were on the brink of getting the player, but Milan had some issues again with this agent and came to commissions. And Juventus came in and snapped up Carlos Tevez. So I heard that from Pedula. I'm assuming it is true, but regardless, to me, this tells me that this guy has been doing business with the big teams for a really long time. If we're talking about Carlos Tevez already, and Carlos Tevez at the time was one of the biggest strikers on the planet, so he was already dealing with some of the biggest players of the planet back then. So we are talking about a veteran of the game here. Visakia, really difficult last name. No disrespect, I can't pronounce it. He is the real deal. Like, he is a guy that has been working in this business for a very long time and has a lot of experience dealing with a lot of teams. So it really comes down to this. I don't know. Is it a moral question? Is it an ethical question? I don't understand it. It comes down to commissions. I'm seeing the reaction of the fans on Twitter and on social media saying that, we should not pay any commissions, blah, 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 blah. It's not the right thing to do. It's immoral. It's beyond us, right? We are above that. That kind of seems to be the general gist, is that we are above paying commissions to agents. Now, that is how the fans feel. When it comes to the team, obviously, to the management of the ownership, we're talking about more like fiscal issues here, and them just being very conservative with how they spend their money. A lot of the subject that is being brought up regarding Milan not wanting to spend money on commission is that this money does not flow back into the system, into the footballing system. Rather, this is money that gets lost in the bank accounts of agents, and it's not money that goes back and forth between clubs, etc. This is just money that goes in the pocket of a private person who's involved in the business deal. Now, this is the question that I have. So I don't really understand fully why Milan is not looking to do these kind of operations. I don't think this has been made transparent. Obviously, it's got to do with being. I don't understand if it's a matter of principle, or is it a matter of taxes? Is it a matter of finances? It could be both. The problem is that Milan has not really addressed this issue. We face a similar issue with Kessi's agent, and at the time, the messaging coming from the club was that Milan was not willing to pay all that money to the agent, and it kind of stopped there. So they didn't want to pay the money. It's too much money. It's not worth it. It doesn't make the operation worth it, or something like that. But the reason why I have these questions is because when you look at other clubs, they don't really have problems with paying these fees to the agents. Now, again, guys, I'm not advocating for anything here. I am not advocating for teams having to pay agent fees or not. Honestly, I don't know yet where I stand because I need to understand this subject a little bit better. But from what I'm seeing, Juventus has paid a lot of money on agent fees, right? So Juventus seems to be a team that doesn't really care about this. Inter has been also another team that also has not really shown to care so much about paying agent fees, and that is kind of like how they got players from us, like Thuram, for example, Çalhanoğlu. KC was also something that was going to happen. And also like Barcelona is another team, another example, because we saw it with KC. Obviously, Barcelona paid the agent his fees. Premier League teams seem to not have a problem with it. So I'm not understanding where Milan lies in all of this. Is this a statement? Is this like a political statement, or is this just Milan saying that they're going to only only use their money where money circulates back into the football system? I don't know. This is something that we need to find out from the management, why they don't want to spend this money on agents. Now, there are people calling for UEFA to intervene, saying that UEFA should put some regulations on agent fees. Obviously, this is coming up right now because Milan is having trouble getting this player, so that's why the subject is coming up right now. But again, we need to understand why some teams have no issues with this, and then you have Milan. I don't get it. I don't understand what's going on there. I just don't understand it. Now, the way I feel about the operation so far, I think it's a little bit early because the market does start in July, and that's when his clause is going to be activated. So you can't really do anything official now anyway. So I think there is still time, but it looks like Milan did try to go in quick and finalize everything. And it looks like that whoever decides to pay whatever Kia decides is going to get him in the end. So at this point, we don't know if they actually have a deal. I don't want to be pessimistic. I'm not being pessimistic. I'm being completely realistic. Judging on what happened last time with Thuram, I'm assuming something similar can happen this time again. Is this a motive to panic? For me, no, not really. If we do end up losing Zirkzee because of these reasons, there are other players that they can get. Zirkzee would have been better. He would have been the better choice. But again, I don't think Zirkzee or any striker is going to really be the big thing that is going to solve Milan's issues. Obviously, if we do get Zirkzee, that is a great statement. That's a statement signing in the Serie A. That is a very positive signing. If you can land him, that's already something that, your competition has started early. You have already started competing for the Serie A if you can land Zirkzee early. So it's a good statement. But if you can't do that, there's other strikers that can provide maybe even more goals. So it's not the end of the world if you lose Zirkzee, because at the end of the day, the real issue with this team is not the goals. The issue with this team is how are we not going to stop teams from scoring against us? So that's what they really need to figure out. That's going to be the meat and potatoes of this summer market. It's not going to be the marquee signings, the flashy signings that are going to get asses on the San Siro seats. That's just for the show. That's just for the entertainment. That's just the business. That's show business right there. I'm talking football here. I don't give a fuck about the entertainment. I'm just talking about the football aspect here. The real deal when it comes to Milan is how are you going to solve the midfield issue and bring in a really solid midfield of motherfucking top G's. Guys that don't take shit from anyone, guys that play like devils and are also very good with the ball. And then also couple that with defenders that are at a very high level, defenders that are regarded amongst the best, and a system in which the midfield and the defense works well together and they protect the offense by not having goals conceded so the offense can do what it does. That is really going to be the issue, okay? That's the football we're talking about. That's football. That's the grass on the field. That is what you feel every day. That's the reality of the matter. So if we get Zirkzee or not, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. It won't change much because if you're going to get a striker, it has to be a striker that can give you 15 to 20 goals. Zirkzee is that kind of guy, maybe, but there's other guys. There's Gurasi, there is Dubrick, there's other guys, you know. But again, guys, we scored 99 goals last fucking season. How many goals do we need to score? We don't need to score 2,000 goals to win a damn fucking cup. The issue was that we conceded 71 goals. 71 goals, guys. That number is insane. Goals is not the problem. Now, let me just go back to this. If you sign Zirkzee, that's a great signing. That's a statement signing. That's a signing that, you know, you're showing Serie A, okay, guys, I'm the real deal. I'm for real here. But again, as I said, it's a showbiz signing. This is a marquee signing. This is to get asses on the seats. The real intelligent signings, the fans don't even know about them. They don't even understand them. The fans don't even get it. Fans just want to see goals. They just want to see highlight reels. They just want to see double scissors. They want to see dribbles. They want to see 1-2s. You know, fans, this is what they want to see. But football is more than that. Football is much more in depth than that. So, at the end of the day, this is where my concerns are. What are we going to do regarding the defense? Now, there is one thing that I did hear today which is interesting, and it is an interesting rumor that Hummels might be actually back on the Milan radar, and we will see what happens there. But at the end of the day, what I want to know from you guys and what I want to understand is what is the issue with the agent fees? Now, again, I am neutral on this. I'm not against it. I'm not for it. And it's simply because it's a subject that I've never really paid too much attention to. And I want to understand it, you know. Now, for me, one thing that already stands out is the fact that the money you spend does not then go inside the footballing system, money that moves, right? When you spend money in the footballing system, it moves around. It's fluid. But when you spend money to agents and commissions, that money goes out of the football system. That money becomes it doesn't participate anymore. So that is an interesting angle in which I do see UEFA maybe intervening there, if there is an angle to intervene. But at the end of the day, I don't really understand or know how agents operate and what the law is, right? It really comes down to what the law is. Obviously, if he can ask for these commissions, then the law says he can. So these are the things that we got to understand. Should we take this stance that commissions are bad for football and we should not bow down to the agents? Or should we just accept commissions as part of the price? Like it seems like many other clubs do, and just go on with life. So I think this is going to be the main subject today that we need to figure out. And we'll see. We'll see. All right, let me go to chat for a little bit, then we'll go to the other subjects. Long time no see. What's up with Zirkzee? Yeah, that's right. Zirkzee has been called up for the national Dutch team. That's correct. That's interesting. That's good. He's a good player. He should be there. He deserves it. Zirkzee is not coming because of a 15 million fee. It's a sad day because all this fucking time for nothing. May he shine in the EPL. Fucking shit management. Well, I mean, when it comes to the EPL, so far, the news that I heard, which, I mean, guys, again, we have to take everything with a grain of salt, but Arsenal is not interested in Zirkzee. Manchester United is interested in Zirkzee. It also kind of makes sense to me. Ten Hag is Dutch, and obviously the Dutch coaches know the Dutch players, and Zirkzee is one of the players that has one of the better prospects in Europe. And Manchester United, I mean, for them, this operation is too easy. This operation for them is extremely easy. If they want to get Zirkzee to Manchester United, it's really easy for them to make this happen. So going into battle with Manchester United in the market is a really huge mismatch because this is, I believe, the richest club on the planet. If it's not the richest club, it's one of the richest clubs. And they offer monster salaries and they have absolutely no issue with commissions. All of, like an operation like Zirkzee for Manchester United, as far as what they usually do, is on the low end, right? 50 million, 55 million plus 6 million, 7 million for the player net a year. This is a nothing operation for Manchester United. So I think that pragmatically speaking, if it gets to that, it's difficult to believe that Milan can win that competition, regardless of what the player, if a player really thinks he prefers Milan more. At the end of the day, the player, guys, makes a lot of money. The player is going to be happy wherever he goes, whether it's Manchester United, Arsenal, Milan, or the other team, which we're going to speak about in a second. It doesn't really matter. So far, Manchester United could be in the race for Zirkzee, and that's a team that we have to contend with. That's a team that we'd have to contend with. And the question is, if Manchester United says, yeah, 15 million for your commission fees, why would Kia, the agent, give us a discount? What does he get in return? Not only from us, he would get a discount, but his player, his client, would also get paid less, most likely. So that's just hard to believe that if we go in this against Manchester United, that we win it. Everything is possible. Then the other team now that has emerged is Juventus, and they have a very good DS there, Giuntoli. Giuntoli is one of the top guys in Italy. And this is how Juventus does it. Juventus gets the best. That's how they operate. And that's how Real Madrid operates. That's how you should operate. That's why Juventus got Giuntoli, because he's one of the best. And Giuntoli already looks like he has sealed the Douglas Luiz deal. I don't know. This is what the reports are saying. Maybe it's not true, guys. Forgive me if it's not true. But the reports today are saying that Douglas Luiz is pretty much sealed. It looks like McKennie and Illing Jr. are going to go to Aston Villa, and Douglas Luiz is going to come or is going to go to Juventus, and Juventus is going to pay 20-something million. Big operation. But the kicker in all of this is that Kia is also the agent of Douglas Luiz. And apparently Giuntoli now is asking about Zirkzee. Why is he asking about Zirkzee? Because Thiago Motta is officially the coach of Juventus. And Thiago Motta and Zirkzee have, already have somewhat of a relationship. They understand each other. So there's that card that Juventus might play. And also, again, Juventus is the team that has spent the most on agent commissions. It's something that they don't care about. They don't have this moral, quandary in their brain when they talk about commissions. So Juventus can be an issue also when it comes down to Zirkzee. But we will see. We will see, because there's still time before any of this can be official. Again, his contract, his clause actually activates on July 1st. So you can't officially get the player until you can tell the team, hey, I'm going to activate the release clause, but you have to have the agreement with the player and the agent. Okay, guys? So team, player, agent. Team, player, agent. These are the four. These are the three people in this case, because Bologna has no say. Otherwise, we're starting to discover that the market works this way. You got the team you're buying for. You got the team, you. So you are entity number one. You got the team that you're buying from, entity number two. You got the player that you want to get, entity number three, and you got to get and the agent, entity number four, the representative of the player. So it seems like there's four. It's a quartet. It's a symphony of four that needs to all come together. But in this case, it's three because Bologna has no say in it. Now, again, based on these facts, you'd have to think that if we go in a bidding war with the agent for Zirkzee, Juventus and Manchester United financially definitely had the advantage. Now, what is the angle that can make you think, well, no, Zirkzee is going to convince his agent to lower his demands, and because for Zirkzee, this is what he really wants to do. Now, I don't really believe that, okay? I think that Zirkzee likes Milan. He likes the idea of playing for Milan. Milan is obviously one of the greatest clubs that has ever existed, so it's an honor for many players to play for Milan. There's that fact. He's in Italy. It's a good step from Bologna to Milan. So for him, it's a good step. But it will be the same if you go from Bologna to Juventus. It's the same thing. So at the end of the day, if he stays in Italy, whether it's Juve or Milan, I don't think it really matters that much. I think it doesn't matter that much. Now, the more I think about it, now that I've had to force myself to think about this, whether it's Juventus or Milan, it won't matter that much. It won't matter to the point where he will say no to more money that Juventus will offer him. It won't matter to the point where they'll say no to the agent if Juventus says, yes, here's 15 million for Zirkzee, no problem. So, yeah, the more you think about it, you got to wonder how Milan is going to pull this off. And if they do pull this off, it's going to be very interesting to find out what actually happened. But anyway, this is where we are. This is where we are right now. And we will see how it goes. We will see. There's still time. But again, guys, I'll repeat this one more time, last time, and then we'll move on. The striker at the end, whoever they get, they need to get a striker. Okay, so they will get a striker. They have to get. There's no choice. There's literally no choice. They have to get a striker. So whether it's Zirkzee or someone else, they will get someone else. And that is not going to solve anything. That is just going to replace the void that Giroud leaves. That's it. If they can get a striker that can produce even more than Giroud, then that's great. That's great. That's doing good business. But at the end of the day, even though Giroud gets criticized, he gets treated like a dog, you look at his numbers, and in all competitions last season, he contributed 26 goals and assists. Those are big numbers. Those are not easy numbers to produce. So you have to bring in a striker that does that fills that void. this is not the problem with the team. The problem with the team is the tactics, the strategy, the mentality, the spirit, the intelligence of what players you get, how you put them on the field, how they're going to be compact. How are you going to keep that 3-4-3 that you're going to be playing compact inside 30 meters for 70% of the game? How are you going to do that, Mr. Fonseca, which tomorrow, guys, will be official? That's the big question here, guys. That is the real question. If you want to sell seats at the San Siro, yeah, you talk about Zirkzee. If you want likes, if you want subscribers, you talk and you cheerlead about Zirkzee. But that's not the issue with Milan, guys. The issue with Milan, the issue with any footballing team is how are you going to create a solid team that believes in themselves, that they will fight for each other till the last to the last drop of blood, that will sacrifice for each other. So that's the mental aspect, first of all. How are you going to sell them this idea? You know, what are they fighting for? That's the mental aspect. And then the tactical aspect. What players are you going to get to fulfill those things? How are you going to deploy them? What strategies are you going to use? How are you going to prepare them? How is the defense going to react? How is the midfield going to react? These are the real things, guys. This is football. If you talk about this shit, nobody is buying seats at the San Siro. People that buy seats at the San Siro want to see goals. They want to see Zirkzee, the big name. So it will be interesting. It'll be quite interesting. All right, let me send a link to the chat here. If you guys in chat want to, in the WhatsApp chat, want to join, let me know. Anyway, as far as all the other pieces of news, I don't think anything really came out which is important. I think right now it's just the Zirkzee news. Guys, also, I started to see some EPL teams are starting to make some deals here and there. But once the EPL teams and the Saudi teams start getting in the market and starting, deciding who they want to spend, guys, things are going to get really wild. Okay. Things are going to get really wild. So these Italian teams, Milan, Juventus, Inter, Napoli, all these guys, they better get their shit going fast. They need to get going fast before these English teams are going to come in. Because, guys, the English teams, they have infinite amounts of money. And same with the Saudi. Like, you cannot compete, guys. You cannot compete. There is no team in Italy that would be able to spend 70 million for Tonali, right? In England, Newcastle, 70 million, easy. There's no team in Italy that can spend 100 million on any player right now. No team that can do it. The English teams can do that for bench players, for players that are just normal players, right? The English teams have a crazy amount of money. So it is very important, in my opinion, that AC Milan, but the Italian teams get their deals done fast, because something that we learned last summer is that a lot of teams waited, and all of a sudden, here comes the Saudi team. Ciao, Milinkovic-Savic gone. Right? That's an example right there. The guy there at Napoli, they were going after that Spanish player. They waited way too long. Spanish player. Here comes the Saudi team. Big offer. Gone. So it is very important that the Italian teams get to work, and it is clever for AC Milan to get Zirkzee, to try and get Zirkzee right away. And I see Juventus is already on the go. Juventus is already on the go. Inter, I believe that Inter apparently is going to renew Lautaro Martinez and officially renewed Barella. They have Zielinski coming in. They have Taremi coming in, and they're going to do other operations too. As of now, today, that roster that Inter has is sick. Absolutely sick. But I don't think it's going to be exactly. I think maybe they are going to sell a big player. My guess, guys, I could be wrong. Forgive me if I'm wrong. You can hold it against me, whatever, is Çalhanoğlu. If they sell a big player, they're going to sell Çalhanoğlu. But we will see. I might be wrong. I don't think we're going to sell Lautaro. I don't think we're going to sell Thuram. I don't think we're going to sell Barella. I don't think we're going to sell Bastoni. But if a team comes with a big offer for Çalhanoğlu, which can happen because he was deemed the best midfielder in Italy this year, and that could open up some doors for big teams like a Bayern or like a Man City, maybe even, or if that happens. If a big team like that comes in, he's gone. But I think it'd have to be one of the bigger teams. A Manchester United, maybe a Manchester United, a team that can offer him a lot of money, he'll go. He'll go, for sure. But if Inter can keep this squad and obviously fix their rotation up top, Lautaro, Thuram, and now they have Taremi. Those are 3 killers up there. And they add another one. Who's going to stop Inter? Who the fuck is going to stop Inter? What Juventus is doing or what Juventus wants to do is still not even enough to stop Inter. So unless Inter has a complete meltdown next year, guys, I think as of now, today, June 12th, Inter is heavy favorites to win the league next year. They got it all. They got the defense, they got the midfield, they got the attack. They got 2 super quality players, signings, experienced players too. So I'm guessing that the next players they're going to get are going to be a little bit younger. But these players, Taremi and Zielinski, they're not at the end of their careers, though. They're experienced players, but they're not at the end of their career. They're still players that so much quality. With Zielinski, that midfield is gonna have so much fucking quality. If they can maintain Mkhitaryan, Zielinski, Asllani, Barella, and Çalhanoğlu, if they can keep that and add Zielinski there, like the quality in that midfield is fucking insane. You have to do way too much work to fucking get to that level next year. So, we got to be real, guys. Our midfield is not like that. So, we can be cheerleaders and we can pretend and we can be who's the best at being a Milan fan and just fucking hoping and believing and being positive and all that crap. But at the end of the day, these players are real. It's not the players are real. The teams are not just these magic entities. They've been created with intelligent people, put them together, and there's work done, and there's players of a certain level that our midfield is so far away from that. It is so far away from that. It is way too far away from that. They have 2 of the... Listen, I know I'm going to say stuff here. I know I'm pissing people off right now, by the way, guys. I know, because Milan and we can't talk. We can't say anything good about Inter, whatever. I get it. I don't give a shit. I'll tell you straightforward. I don't give a fuck. But let me say this. You can believe this or not, but Çalhanoğlu was considered to be one of the best midfielder in Serie A. A lot of people agree with that. If you're the best midfielder in Serie A, that means you're one of the best midfielders in the world. We already know that in Europe. We already know that they have one of the best midfielders in Europe already, and it's Barella. So these guys are going to go in competition with 2 of the best midfielders in Europe in their starting lineup. That's 2 of the best. These are 2 of the upper echelon midfielders. You can say whatever you want about Çalhanoğlu, but that's the reality, guys, today. That's how he's seen, that's what he does. People can hate him all he wants, but that's the player that he grew into. He developed into this kind of player. Inter right now has two of the best players in the world in their midfield. Where are we in this? Where are our players? Are our players even in the top 10? Are any of our players in our midfield even in the top 10? These are real questions you got to ask yourselves. Like, what is it that we're really trying to do here? Are we just waiting for Inter to collapse so we can take over? Maybe that is the strategy, guys. Maybe that is the strategy. Maybe you're just waiting for Inter to collapse, because sooner or later they probably will, guys. I mean, people have been trying to manifest this forever. Sooner or later they'll collapse and we'll have to start a new cycle. Probably when Marotta finally leaves, they'll start a new cycle and Milan can take over. It can fill that void. But until then, guys, what the fuck are we doing here? What are we doing? And let's stop fucking believing in fairy tales. Like, shit, it needs to be real. Like, fairy tales, it's boring to. Why do people believe in fairy tales? Me saying that Inter is going into a competition with two of the best midfielders in Europe in their starting lineup, it's not me bending over to Inter. It's not me kissing their ass. It's not me putting Milan down. It's me just stating a fucking fact. That has got nothing to do with being a fan or not. It's got to do with being a football analyst, because that's what I am. I'm a football analyst, but I'm also a Milan fan. So for me, fairy tales, magic, and this bullshit does not exist in football. It's facts. And you cannot compete against a team that has two of the best midfielders in Europe in their starting lineup in the midfield when your midfielders are probably none of them are in the top 10. These are just things that you can't do anything about. So that's why I'm really curious to see what they do. I'm really curious to see what they do. Anyway, guys, I'm fucking done. I'm pissed off right now, guys. I'm just pissed off. I'm just fucking pissed off right now. I need to take a chill pill. What's up, Edison? How you doing? Now that Zirkzee is going to be to the Euros, I see the commission's going up. Well, he's going to get exposure. If he does well in the Euros, it can make it more difficult. Unless Milan already has a deal and we don't know, that could be a reality. But you like what Milan is doing, Hummels and Rabiot? I don't believe Rabiot is true. Hummels, I will take Hummels. I will take Hummels, yeah. Experienced. I thought last year he was one of the best players in Europe from what I saw. I have my concerns with Hummels because I look at Borussia Dortmund in the Bundesliga, and they don't have a great defensive record in the Bundesliga. They didn't win many games. I mean, they won a few. They won games, but they lost many games. They tied games. They got a lot of goals. It's because of in Bundesliga, Dortmund plays with a high line. I don't think Hummels, and it's not because of his athleticism. I just don't think he is built, and he doesn't have the tactical acumen to play a high line. I think he's going to struggle in a high line, but maybe coupled with a Tomori, it can help. It can help. I mean, Hummels Tomori, I think I like that. I think it's a balanced midfield, defensive center back pairing. In a high line, Tomori has to be the guy that recovers. Hummels is really good when the defense is closed, when there's not much space. In when the midfield line and the defensive line are defending together as a unit, Hummels is unbelievable. Hummels is fucking unbelievable. So at least he was this season. His performance levels that were absolutely absurd. But I just wonder what he looks like when there's 30 meters of space or even more, 50 meters of space behind him open, I just wonder what he looks like there. But yeah, I'll take Hummels for sure. For sure. Rabiot, guys, that's fantasy. That's not never going to happen. That is never going to happen. In order to get Rabiot, you have to pay him a lot of money, unless they are deciding to have a huge wage cut. But Rabiot gets a pretty hefty salary. He was one of Juventus's growth decree players. So Juventus pays him a high net salary, but they don't pay him a high gross salary. They pay him a pretty low gross salary according to his net, and that was the growth decree right there. So now, if he comes to Milan, there is no growth decree, and what wages is he asking for? So I don't believe that Rabiot is going to be joining Milan. And honestly, if he does join Milan, I think it's a step in the right direction, but I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. Hummels, I think it's possible. Hummels, I do believe it's possible. Rabiot, I cannot see this operation happening. If you want to really compete, management needs to play the game. I saw Rabiot. Yeah, commissions are okay if they're not that high. 50 million is a joke. We can sign a good player for 50 million. Okay. Yeah, so I want to hear your opinions on this, because it's a subject that is new to me, and I don't know what to make out of it. I don't know what to make out of it. I mean, this is a good point. 15 million, you can buy one of the up and coming, best Italian players with 15 million. The 19-year-olds, the 20-year-olds, you can get those guys. Why is United interested in Zirkzee when they bought Højlund for 50 million? I'm not sure. I don't know. This is what was reported to me. Ten Hag being there. It's part of football, but FIFA should do something about it. Accept it because commissions also cover the new FIFA law percentage that goes to founding club of the player. Oh, interesting. Wow. That's a very interesting stipulation. Accept it because commissions also cover the new FIFA law percentage that goes to the founding club of the players. Very interesting. I wonder how FIFA collects that, though. How does FIFA collect that? If the money is being paid to the agent, how is FIFA collecting that? Commissions are part of the price, but the management obviously has a problem. Personally, I believe this is a Milan management issue. They should pay the commission fee and get the player. Yeah. And also something else that was brought up that you made me think about, that Longoni, I believe, brought up, and it was actually a really good subject to bring up, is didn't they already know? It was like, didn't they already know that there is who the agent is and that the agent wanted a commission? Like, why didn't they inform themselves, a long time ago regarding this? Did they just decide recently that Zirkzee was going to be their target? So they found out recently, or did they know and they're just trying to bank on the fact that by convincing the player can influence the agent? Are they playing on that? Maybe they're playing on that. That's a dangerous game to play if they are playing on that, because again, yeah, some other teams don't really care about these commissions. They just pay them. They absolutely have no qualms. Daniela, right or wrong, they knew from the start that it was the price to pay. Man U is a dumpster fire. I think Kia is trying super hard to play hardball, but he might get fired by Zirkzee. I doubt it. I really doubt it, Edison, because Kia seems to be one of these top level guys. And at the end of the day, guys, the job of the agent the way this is looking like is to get the money, get his client lots of money. That is going to be the key issue here. It's all about money at this point. It's all about the commission. If Zirkzee, if Zirkzee says, okay, I'll go to Juventus, he's going to get paid more and his agent is going to get his money. It's difficult for me to believe that Zirkzee is on his knees begging his agent, no, Milan is the team I want to go to. It's just Milan, only Milan. That's very hard to believe. I think if Manchester United offers him, gives him the money that he wants, he's going to be excited about that. He's going to go to Manchester United, huge club. He's going to be making lots of money. He's going to be excited about that prospect playing in the EPL in such an important club. If he doesn't end up going to Milan, if it's Juventus, he's going to be excited to go to Juventus. He's going to be making money. He's going to be happy. So it doesn't. I wouldn't put too much stock in Zirkzee saying that Milan is the only destination he wants to go to. Yeah. I think that to me, Edison, is a little bit like fairy tales, right? Like that's a little bit to me like fairy tales. So far, what we know is that Milan and Zirkzee have accepted terms, and Milan has stated his desire to has accepted terms with Milan. But if now Juventus comes in and they make a deal with Zirkzee, Zirkzee is going to be like, okay, I accept your terms. So he's going to accept Milan's terms. He's going to accept Juventus terms. He's going to accept Manchester United terms. And then it comes down to the agent. Who pays the agent? That's it. It won't come down to Zirkzee. G just you was talking about Zirkzee today. It makes sense with Motta there. Yeah, Motta is definitely a key figure in this for sure. You got to watch out. You got to watch out. It really comes down to what is Juve trying to do, right? Do they want to Zirkzee? I think if Juve tries to hijack Zirkzee from Milan, it's a huge power play from Juventus. That's already a huge power play from Juventus in expense of Milan. If Juventus hijacks Zirkzee from Milan, that's a huge power play, similar to what happened last year with us against Inter, the Thuram affair. But this one here, even bigger, because Zirkzee is already a Serie A established player. He's considered as one of the best players of last season. So if they hijack him from us, huge statement. So Milan now is going into this game here that they're risking a lot. They're risking a lot as far as the impact this operation can have if it doesn't go through. It's almost like a penalty shootout. You know, it's 50-50. It's all or nothing. All the chips are on the table. It's quite a power play. But yeah, if Juventus hijacks, it'll be a big statement. But again, guys, this is why I'm relaxed, completely relaxed. The problem with Milan is not Zirkzee. It won't be Zirkzee. I'm done with this fucking management. They now want to give Atalanta a discount on CDK. They're all a bunch of soft cocks. Why not try and at least ask for Scalvini in return? Otherwise, just move on. Yeah, unfortunately, Scalvini's injury puts him out of the market. I think his injury is going to put him out of the market. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, I guess they decided to go for the discount. If Zirkzee goes to Juve, might as well make Inter, Juve, Napoli, and Roma or Atalanta far top four. Now, again, I don't necessarily believe that, Orlando. I believe if these guys are smart and they build a team that can play solid football without conceding 500 goals a season, you know, that's really where the key is. The key is where that's the key. That's the key. But if Zirkzee does go to Juve, it's a big slap in the face to Milan. The fans are going to be angry. The club is going to look bad. And it's most likely is going to show on the pitch, because it's the management there, the losing a battle against. Right now, the managements are fighting against. This is the the competition of the managements. So yeah, it's bad. You're right. At the end of the day, it's bad. At the end of the day, it's bad, but it's not the end of the world if things are done properly. Let's see. Let's see what they do. Based on these facts, it's looking gloomy. I don't know. I don't know if it's gloomy. It's just the way things are. Can you imagine the pair of Vlahovic Zirkzee playing under Motta? Yes, that's a brilliant duo right there, because it's two players that perfectly complement each other. If he plays with a two-man system up top, which by the way he wasn't at Bologna, if I'm not mistaken, or was he? You can correct me if I'm wrong. But if you play with Zirkzee and Vlahovic as your pairing, that's a very strong pairing for sure. Now, again, if we don't sign Zirkzee, they'll sign some other guy who might even be better in the end. Guys, this Milan is all bark and no bite, so don't expect anything. Let's just hope we don't lose Leao and Theo, which I see. Yeah, so far that front has been pretty quiet. Nothing has really been coming out regarding sales of Leao and Theo. We don't have a true leader. Yeah, we need leaders in this team. So tomorrow, Ibrahimovic is. This could be something interesting, actually. Ibrahimovic tomorrow is going to have a press conference, which probably means that from now on or from next season onwards, Ibrahimovic is going to be the media face. He's going to be the guy that puts his face on in the cameras and answering the questions. Maybe that's what it means, but tomorrow he is going to have a press conference. He's going to be talking about the season. He's going to be probably answering lots of questions. So they're using Ibrahimovic as their ambassador pretty much, and he's a person that obviously garners a lot of respect and esteem because he's been a player in football. It's really just for optics at the end of the day. It could be just for optics, and that's what we'll find out tomorrow. We'll find out what Ibrahimovic's role is going to be, and if he can be the leader, if there is actual space for him to be the leader in this infrastructure. So that's going to be quite interesting. And also, Fonseca should be official tomorrow. So as far as we know, Fonseca should be official tomorrow, and Ibrahimovic has a press conference. We will follow that tomorrow. And also, someone on the WhatsApp chat said that they might also announce Zirkzee tomorrow. And that could be something interesting. Announcing Zirkzee, Fonseca, and Ibra. That could be a big, nice little push to get the season ticket holders going. So basically, today the ticket season holders opened up, and their goal is to get to 42,000 season tickets sold. Those are big numbers. Usually, those are numbers when Milan is top. So in order to achieve those numbers, they're going to have to do a very, very flashy market. Today, it seems like there was double the renewals of season holding tickets than last year. So there's already excitement. People are already excited to go to the stadium, and I don't think that's a great thing. I honestly think that maybe people should slow down a little bit, because if a management sees that people are just buying these tickets, and they probably won't have a lot of pressure to do big operations. But if they see that there's a slowdown in ticket sales, they'll feel compelled to try and bring that up, and that will put a little bit more pressure on them. So these are all interesting dynamics that are happening right now. We'll see where they bring. We shall see where they bring. I heard that the seats are $300. Damn. Yes, and I did see that has been a 19% increase in total prices, in overall prices. That's insane. Questa società non merita I tifosi allo stadio. Yeah, this this management doesn't deserve people in the stadium. VIP seats and ticket yeah, that's a good so another thing that they're going to do next year, they're going to borrow this idea from the NBA, which is courtside seating. They're going to have pretty much this seating section for VIPs, celebrities, and high-end profile people, whatever, pay a lot of money to sit there, which is going to be right there on the ground, just like you see in basketball. So this is the American sporting touch. There's one thing that concerns me about this. One of the things that they say is that these people are going to be able to be on the pitch during the warm-up. If I coach a team and I have people just interfering with my players warming up, I would fucking go furious. So I don't know what that is all about. I don't know what that is all about. That one to me looks strange. No, the players should not have celebrities come and talk to them while they fucking warm up. Maybe they can have a few minutes during the breaks, but not on the pitch. Like the pitch should be sacred. The pitch should be for the players. No distractions. That right there is a huge red flag, in my opinion. I mean, I can just imagine myself. I'm a coach, and I want to see my players be completely focused on the game coming up during warm up. I want to see them with that fire in their eyes, knowing that they're going to fucking go into battle. I don't want to see them take pictures with celebrities and talk with celebrities and smile and do all this shit. So I don't know how that's going to work out. I think that's going to irritate a lot of coaches. It's going to irritate a lot of coaches, and it's going to irritate a lot of trainers too. That's very interesting. Very interesting. Bro, I never heard of this CB we sold to. Inciala is actually, I saw him with the Primavera. Okay, so I saw him, for the most part, he is a good defender. With the Primavera, building from the back seemed to be a problem. He was he liked to just win the ball and just kick it up, Hail Marys. I actually was calling him Hail Mary, because that's what he does. He just wins the ball and then he just Hail Marys it up the field. But the final game that we lost, unfortunately, against the Greek team, he played a really good game, and he was passing the ball and he was composed. So I saw his growth. I saw how he developed in those months, and he's a player that definitely has a future in football. And let's see if he made the right decision. You know, it's kind of like the Hungarian kid. He feels ready to play. He doesn't want to do the whole shebang. Yeah, I didn't rate him as the best player on the team. I thought he had some strong performances. The best players on the team were other players, but I thought he was decent. Yeah, so I think he can have a good future. But yeah, he doesn't want to wait around. He wants to go and play first team football. Farsa American sports model. Great way to turn away the diehard fans and bring in the bandwagon fans. How about focus on putting a complete squad on the pitch, then can compete domestically again? Yeah, good points. Well, listen, I know that last year he had a poor season. Last year, obviously, it was strange for him because his commitment to his team was not full. I know he wanted to leave, so I think that plays a lot. But you cannot discount what he did in the years prior to that. Like, we're talking about some crazy numbers. We're talking about like some absolute 140 goal contributions, or was it 150 goal contributions in 180 games? Like, that record is insane. So whether or not he can produce that kind of stuff in Italy, in a fresh team where he is energized and he is motivated and he's committed, I think he's going to produce numbers. Even if he produces low numbers, those numbers aren't too bad according to what his consistent stats have been. It's just been last year that there's been a huge dip in form, but I really think that it's because he wanted to leave. He's not committed to the project. They knew he was going to leave, and whatnot. But yeah, you can't argue his numbers. What about our club management wants to give Atalanta a discount on CDK? We should at least be ambitious and try to ask for Scalvini. Oh, I read this already. Scalvini right now is off the market because he's injured and he's off the market. Nobody is going to try and get Scalvini. Yeah, they want to get rid of CDK. Taremi is just another Arnautovic. His numbers say otherwise. Taremi's ass, his numbers say otherwise. Yeah, okay, sure, fine. You cannot argue with those numbers. I mean, if you want to argue with those numbers because he had a bad season, it's a poor argument. It's a poor argument because you can find a reason why. You can't tell me this guy had fucking incredible stats all his career, and then one season he has bad stats, and then all of a sudden he is ass. That is a bad take. That's a horrific take. That is a take of a noob. That is the take of people that believe in fairy tales. You see, this is the difference. This is the difference. You want to come and say that is a horrific take, but yours is a horrific take. To think that just because he has one bad season, that makes him ass. Why did he have that bad season? If Shevchenko had one bad season, is it because he's ass? At the end of the day, someone that contributes 150 goals and assists in 180 games, how can you argue against that? That is like elite level production. Now, you can maybe say the levels, Portugal, lower level, etc. Sure, fine, whatever. You can argue those things. But to compare him to Arnautovic makes no sense because Arnautovic never had those kind of numbers. Arnautovic never had those kind of numbers. Most likely, and this is the thing, right? This guy here that wants to bust my balls, Caster. Most likely Taremi is going to come to Italy, and most likely he's going to have a decent season and he's going to produce numbers. But Caster is not going to come back and here say, sorry, you're right. He's going to find some other bullshit thing to say that I have a horrific take. At the end of the day, if you want to debate me, you have to come with strong, hard facts to debate me. Otherwise, you're wasting your time. Roy, don't say it as it is. You may wake people up from the American dream, right? He's saying the truth, and some fans can't stand the truth. Roy speaking facts. CDA saying at Atalanta for 22 million, these guys are idiots. I mean, they just want to offload. Him. No negotiation skills, bro. This management is ass. Pedula saying that Kia lowered his demands and Milan has committed to raising theirs. Okay, that's good news. There you go. That's good news. That is definitely good news. Let's be real. There's some Milan podcasts that believe in fairy tales. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, Only way we compete if our players brought in last year have amazing growth and continuity in second year, but it's very unlikely. Yeah, we need other resources. The players that we have, they can't. They're going to grow, but they're going to. How much are they going to really grow defensively? I don't think they can grow that much defensively. Once upon a time, there was AC Milan, Borussia best defensive performance is when they played a mid block in the UCL. Atalanta have just agreed on terms with AC Milan to keep Charles. Okay, all right. So there you go. Official. Official. Matty Wafer. Do you like Fonseca? Do I like Fonseca? I don't think he's anything special. I think that Fonseca is in Italy not at the same level of Thiago Motta, not at the same level of Inzaghi, not at the same level of Conte, not at the same level of maybe some other Gasperini. I don't know if he's the same level as other coaches. So I'm not too excited about Fonseca. And I don't and one thing that I almost know for sure, and listen, I'm very happy to be wrong about this. I'm very happy for people to come here and tell me in 5 months you were completely wrong, blah blah blah. Your takes are horrific. I'm completely fine if I'm wrong with this. But I don't think Fonseca has the culture or tradition to create a strong defensive unit with elite mentality. I don't think he has that ability. I think that ability is very rare. So I am very happy to be wrong about this. I'm extraordinarily happy to be wrong about that. If Fonseca can come to Italy and show that he can build a solid team that does not concede goals, that wins those midfield battles, and he can dominate team, because he's going to play football to dominate his opponents. If he can do that with Juve, with Inter, with Napoli, with Atalanta, Roma, Lazio, Fiorentina, all these teams, I will definitely be very happy to be wrong about my assessment of Fonseca. But I just don't see it realistically. Pragmatically speaking, I see him kind of, being good enough to stay in that top 4 contention. I think that's where he is. But again, I'd be very happy to be wrong, guys. I'd be very happy to be wrong about this. Trust me. A very Dutch Milan if you wrap up Zirkzee. Yeah, it'd be nice. Don't really see this hype around Zirkzee. Piontek all over again. We don't learn. My take on Zirkzee is I can't say whether or not he's going to be a Piontek. It's because he's 23 years old. So this guy still has 10 years, 12 years of career left if everything goes well for him, maybe even more. And when we're dealing with these players here, he had a breakthrough season in the Serie A. Yeah, maybe it was just a one hit wonder thing, but maybe it's not. And that's the thing. How can you know? How can you know unless you give him the chance, give him the opportunity? But most likely, based on what I'm seeing, he's going to grow and keep on getting better and better. He's still so young, still so much to learn, so much to experience, still at the beginning chapters of his career. They are gentrifying Milan. I can already see Leao being distracted by female celebrities, right? Rash, that is my doubt too, that Zirkzee may be a one-season player. It's possible, but maybe not. We'll see. Even Chiara performed well in a high line because he's a smart player. That's true. You just need to be compact as a team and have ball recovering midfielders. Yeah, that's completely true. With a good engine or a right back that stays within the defensive line, could also be a solution. Kalulu, the problem is back. Then we don't. Yeah, the midfield. We had Tonali, Kessie, Krunic, Salame. Diaz also, guys. Diaz's work off the ball was insane. The guy was a fucking pit bull off the ball. Yeah, you don't have that. You're not doing much. You're really not doing much if you don't have that. Siamo in mano a degli incapaci. I'm tired of always settling for the third. Well, guys, I think right now the way things stand, and you just can't really deny it, is that Inter right now just has the better team, better roster. They're still surviving on what they've built right now. So this project is not over yet. It's still going on, and maybe right now it's going to find its peak. So I think that Inter already has it back for next season. But unless things become crazy. What?
Hey, Roy, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, it's raining because I'm in my car. What's up, man?
Nothing much.
I just saw you yourself doing the monologue, so I'm like, let me bring some toxic shit to you.
Oh, you're going to bring some toxicity? Well, let me respond to some toxicity here first. So okay. Kasser says, Iranian and played in shite leagues. You see, like, what? Okay, so he's Iranian, therefore he's a bad player? No. That doesn't make any sense. And played in shite leagues. I mean, okay, so you say shite, right? So that probably says you're English or something like that. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But that's just arrogant to think that the Portuguese league is just shit. Portuguese league is not a shit league. It's a good league with great players. It's not as competitive as the Premier League, the Serie A, La Liga, or the Bundesliga, and that's fine. But it's still a league that produces top players that the Premier League gets. All the players that get due to Remy's numbers, the Premier League buys, the Serie A buys. So,
I mean, La Liga buys. I mean, when you look at all, okay, here's my thing with the whole Portugal shit. Look at somebody like Casemiro, right? Militao, all these Real Madrid guys that they praise, they all bought in Portugal. When you look at even Man City, people like Ederson, where does he come from? The Ruben Diaz of the world. They all come from Portugal. So they're not saying anything. Here's my take on this stuff, man. It's like, for me, if you're a professional footballer that you can break into any top league in Europe, you have the attributes to be able to compete at a bigger level, bro. This is not amateur football. You know, these clubs are ran professionally. So if you're coming from these leagues, if these scouts see something in you, it means you do have that capacity of proving yourself, right? I don't think, coming from Portugal makes you less of a person, right? At least that's how I look at it, man.
Yeah, I mean, also with Porto, he had 150 games and scored 180 games with 150 goal contributions.
Yeah,
those numbers are insane. Like, how can you argue against those numbers?
Like, he was a pivotal guy for them in the Champions League. Yeah, I don't look at it because he's Iranian. That doesn't mean anything. What's his name? George Weah was from Liberia. Yeah, George Weah played in the Ivory Coast. He played in the Ivorian League before he moved to France. What they're gonna say about that, right? I don't even know why. I don't feed into that type of narratives. I'll only feed in that type of narrative when it's a coach that hasn't proven himself. Because we're not that type of project. Then I'll be like, yeah, okay, like, why are we getting this guy? That's the only time, like, I'll look at a league, especially they get a certain amount of money. But anyway, yes, sir, man. Roy, what's good, man? Man, how you feeling, man? Euros is around the corner, bro.
Wait, hold on. Last thing, I just want equivalent to the Scottish Premier League. Okay, so how many Champions League does the Scottish Premier League have, and how many Champions League does the Portuguese league have? How many legends of the sport does the Scottish national team have, and how many legends of the sport does the Portuguese national team have? How many international trophies does Portugal have? How many international trophies does Scotland have? All right, this was the last time I'm interacting with you, so whatever. All right, go ahead. So come on, bring your toxicity. I'm ready for your toxicity. Go ahead.
No, I'm just bullshitting. Today I'm all happy spirits. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay.
I'm not that type of time. So it's just the news, man. How you feeling about the news and all that stuff? Nothing concrete. I don't like what I'm reading. I don't like what I'm hearing. I don't like anything, to be honest. This summer, nothing really convinces me or gets me even some type of excitement whatsoever.
What about Zirkzee? What about Zirkzee?
I mean, we're not even he's not even confirmed, man. So I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I guess they're gonna wait after the Euros, but he's not confirmed, and that's a dangerous thing. If you do not confirm Zirkzee before the Euros, that he goes and he proves himself after the Euros, now you just welcome multiple sharks to come and bid on your fucking player. That's literally what you're gonna do. Like you have to, if he's really your guy, you have to close out because now he's been called up to the national team.
Are you worried about this situation? Do you think? How do you think it's gonna end?
Yeah, because it's not. I can see Milan actually. Here's what I can look at. I can see a similar. I can see like what they did with Thiago Motta, right? And how Fonseca comes in last. I can see us going for an alternative that we don't know about, replacing him because we didn't want to match the commission or whatever the fuck. I promise you. You know, and then it's gonna make us speculate again and ask ourselves the question that A, was Zirkzee even a primary target, or they just leaked that in the news just to do that when they had no intentions getting him? That's what I'm trying to understand. Because other players are securing their guys right away.
And listen,
right?
No, Sesko's out.
Yeah,
so
he's out.
If I was the case, they're trying to create a diversion. Who do you think they're actually going for?
Maybe they're going for that Mexican dude. Maybe they're going to try to get a
Jimenez.
Right?
Could be, yeah.
Or maybe it can be him. Maybe it can be Jonathan David, because I just saw Jonathan David today. The league the Lille president came out and said Jonathan David, I think Thiago Santos both have a free card to leave this summer because of the contract expiration. So maybe those are the guys that are going, because those players I mentioned, they're not linked to any big club potentially. They're looking at that, right? Because I'm looking at it on base what the news was saying, right? They didn't get a Zirkzee because they didn't want to pay his fee or whatever the fuck to liberate his clause. So I'm starting to ponder now that, okay, so if they don't want to pay that 15 million fee, what makes me think that they're going to pay a 15 million commission? But if you're a professional in that space, like they pretend to be, then y'all should have known that this shit was coming with the commissions and all that stuff. Because I refuse to believe these Americans learned about commission when that Zirkzee agent asked for a commission. That's when they're learning about that type of stuff. You should have known about that was coming. So I don't know what they're doing. Nothing sounds convincing to me with what they're doing. That's just how I'm looking at it.
But that's a good point. The commissions there, like, it's not the first time that we deal with this with these commissions, right? We've been dealing with these commissions for a long time. So why are they even going in for this player if they knew that the commissions were going to be so high?
Right, and you knew you know you had to do an estimate, right? You had to understand the price point. You didn't go not knowing that, like, oh, I didn't know that how you call that? I didn't know that was about to happen. No, bro, you knew. You can't do that. You knew that you had an idea. You just thought like you'll be able to play them or have an upper hand, and it didn't work out. And now y'all looking really stupid. Because if they really bottle this deal, bro, they're gonna look really stupid.
I have a question, man.
Yeah.
Do you think that it is possible that Zirkzee will only be satisfied with Milan? And if there is another team that will offer the agent fees fully and will even offer more money to Zirkzee, Zirkzee will say no to that, and you will still keep on fighting to go to Milan. Do you think that's a possibility?
Yes, I think, but from a professional standpoint, I think yes, he will. Because if he's smart, if Zirkzee is smart, you come from the school of Bayern. Because right now, Milan, let's be honest, I consider Milan a second-tier team now in Europe. Like, I don't think it's a third tier. When I mean second tier, it means Milan has, you know, we've been Scudetto like 2 years. 2 years ago, Champions League semifinal not long. Meaning a second tier is a decent team for another step up. You see what I'm saying? Like the first tier team's already booked. If you're a professional player, yeah, Bayern can buy me back, but I'm not gonna be a starter at Bayern because they spend a lot of money for Kane. Kane is there. I'm not gonna be a Bayern. I'm not gonna start. I cannot go to Man City either, right? I can't go to Man City. It's booked up. I can't go to Real Madrid. It's booked up. Those are the number 1 tier teams, I'm telling you, right?
But I mean, it's really Manchester United and Juventus right now.
Yeah. So Juventus is probably the only one I can see battled up because anybody that's smart enough, they know it's a career suicide if you go to Man United. If you're going for money, fine, but you're not going to Man United. Man United understand now. I promise you. After like what happened with Ten Hag, they understand now. There's no convincing at Man United. Like, I think their course has ran out. Now they cannot no longer use their, especially after this season, Roy. Man United can no longer really use their clout with foreigners to be like, we're gonna help you be great, unless you're coming from a team where like if you got no suitors that Man United is coming for you, yes, you'll go. But for Milan comes to your Milan project, I'm sorry, as much as I don't like this management as much, I think they have, you know, they have something. They have something.
Okay. So
I feel like this management, this Milan have. Because if I'm Zirkzee right now, to be honest, a Juve project can be appealing for sure. If kids, especially if they get him out the door, yes, for sure. You're gonna have a starting position. You might play 2-man formation with Vlahovic up top. Good. But I think after that, Milan should be Milan is more appealing than going to Man United. Because the pressure at Man United right now is too much, and it's not a good kind of pressure, right? It's just a mess, bro. It's just a mess, and the amount of money they spend and the debacle, yeah. If he cares about his football career, I'll say you go to Milan, where you'll be able to get to elevate your game times too. Because Man United is just is right now the whole organization in itself is a shambles. It's not regulated yet where it's going to be appealing. I mean, look at Højlund, man. I mean, Højlund, yeah, he had a decent season, but look, I don't think if Højlund would have went somewhere else, he would excel times 3, times 4, bro. It's just I don't know, man. I don't think it's an appealing spot.
Ultimately, I think in the end, money is going to talk. And I think it'll really come down to the agent at the end. Whoever pays the agent, that's where the player will go. I do think that's what's going to happen. But you bring up good points. Another good point is that in the Milan, there is a void to be filled. So Zirkzee has more of a guarantee of playing a central role because he's going there to fill the Giroud void, which is something that probably Manchester United and Juventus cannot guarantee at this time. So there is that card that you are right about. So if he does make decisions to steer in that direction, yeah, then it'll be at Milan's advantage. So we'll find out what it is. We'll find out what it will be.
Yeah, and that's the reality, because if you care about your because also I'm looking at it as this World Cup is around the corner. This season, like this 2024, 2025 is really going to be the season also for people to really showcase. People are going to try to go into the World Cup, especially if you go to these competitive nations. So you're going to want to go into a club that's a bit stable, where like you're going to have proper gaming time and you can get picked because it's going to be in the US. People want visibility, exposure, all that good stuff. So I think that really matters, especially like a year or two before a World Cup. That really matters in terms of the teams like people go, and they got to understand really where they go, But I can see him coming. I think if they get him, I can see him coming. But I still think personally, like we need also another proper 9 as well that we can get. Or you bring a Colombo or something like that. Like I don't think Zirkzee enough. He's not going to be enough, bro. Unless they decide to play Okafor up there too, but he's not going. I want him, but he's not going to be enough. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, And it also seems like there's a little bit of a stall with Jovic. Jovic, no, what's his name? Jovic? Yeah,
Jovic,
Jovic.
but he
Yeah.
wants guarantees. I understand him as well because he's not trying to get played. He doesn't want to be. He wants to be a backup, but to what extent? Because if he's like second to the pecking order, I guess he can be fine with that. But the way Milan is moving is like, okay, they're just not gonna stop that Zirkzee. They're gonna close that. They'll get somebody else. Then you weren't really the guy like that for real, for real. It just kept you by default. And now you're like, bro, why the fuck am I stuck here if I'm not even playing? I don't know this coach. Like, there's a lot of like, there's a lot of question marks there. So as a player, I can understand like why you're gonna want solid guarantees, bro. Like, I'm not just gonna be here. I'm trying to also resurrect my career. I'm not gonna be a bitch and just be out here, just sitting down waiting for y'all breaking the deal when I'm not even resigned yet. So because essentially what I'm looking at, I don't think he also wants to get left around where like maybe other teams are also courting him and Milan is giving him word like, no, we're gonna sign you. You just need to close this deal, and then he gets left hanging come August, and now he has to go to some other team because that's pretty much what happened to Lukaku. Lukaku was never supposed to go to Roma, if you remember. He was never supposed to go to Roma.
Yeah.
That's not where he wanted to go initially, right? He was supposed to come back to Inter, but he wanted to explore back at Chelsea. He wanted to go to Juventus. The Juventus, move failed, and then he got left hanging. And then Saudi was the only clubs coming around, and he accepted to get loaned out to Roma to broker that deal. But that's not where he wanted to go.
I would love to see Zirkzee Lukaku, actually. I think that would be a very good fucking pairing.
Yeah, but
I,
then again, Chelsea does not want a loan. I'm like, who's really gonna drop 30K for him? But I don't know if you saw on Instagram, they put what Chiesa, Chiesa. Who is it? Who else? Fuck, I saw two other players. Like the lineup kind of looked a bit scary. I'm like, who we? If
who are
they
you talking
keep
about?
what they have,
Napoli?
yeah, Napoli. If they keep who they have and they try to get these guys, Chiesa is motivated and all that stuff. Yeah, that can be
Oof.
that.
I mean, but he doesn't. I mean, he would have to play how is he playing though? Because he doesn't play a 4-3-3, Conte. So how is
Yeah,
he going to play
he's gonna,
Chiesa, Villa,
yeah,
Lukaku,
maybe
Osimhen?
yeah, but like Chiesa used to play in that 3-5-2 if you remember back then, like at Fiorentina where he'll play that right back
Yeah,
easily.
I mean that's not a great position for him. I don't think that's a great position for him.
Yeah, I mean, but like if he
Maybe a
in that
3-4-3, maybe a 3-4-3.
he can be a 3-4-3, or he can put them in that mode, and I don't know, and then have Osimhen and Lukaku next to each other, and that's it. I don't know if he's gonna send Kvara or put Kvara in the middle. I mean, Conte knows himself what he can do or what vision he has if he looking for those type of profile players.
Mm,
But I don't know with
yeah.
Milan, and now I'm seeing with Emerson Royale. What you think about him, man? Not convinced either.
Let me just read a few chats and then we'll talk about Emerson Royal. So, Zirk says to me, I saw a Salah, the Liverpool. He looks like Salah. We need to get him at all cost, Jim says. I refuse to believe that we've been following Zirkzee for a whole year as our primary target, creating what I assume is a unique strategy around him for all the other signings, since his characteristics are so unique. Hold on, there's a lot of static coming from your microphone clip.
I'm sorry. Yeah, with me. Sorry.
Um, are so unique. There's not another Zirkzee on the market, only to fall because you find out. Yes, exactly. Because he is a very unique player. That's a great point. He's a very unique player. He's the most unique, probably, striker right now out of all the strikers. Only to fall because you find out about his commissions. Strange to me. I think they knew. They had to know. RossonARI TV, I'd like to invite you on an upcoming episode of my pod, inviting other Milanistas once we have signed. Oh, nice. Yeah. I'll definitely accept the invitation. Thank you. Say Arsenal, for example, can't get Sesko, and you're invited on this podcast too. Anytime you want. Anybody is really. Anybody can join us. And if you want to come up. Say Arsenal, for example, can get Sesko and so decides to move in fear for Zirkzee. Yeah, that can happen. Well, they can't get Sesko. Sesko is gone. Sesko is gone.
I think personally they're gonna move for Osimhen. Arsenal's gonna move for Osimhen because Chelsea is not willing to get Osimhen right now. He's not in their radar. They get another Colombian guy, and Osimhen is on the move out of Napoli this summer. So I think Arsenal is gonna try to actually go for him. Yep.
And who do you think PSG is going to replace Mbappe with? That's a big question.
I think the Kvara. I think if they put a lot of money on the table, I think they're gonna let him go. Because also, I think they're gonna let him go.
I mean, if Conte loses Osimhen and Kvaratskhelia, those are some of the two best players in the league. So Napoli will have a huge deficit if he loses both those players. If Napoli can keep Kvaratskhelia and Osimhen, that would be insane if they can pull that off. Do you see that being a possibility, Clint? I think he can't hear me, or I can't hear him. I don't know. Arsenal is contacting Osimhen. So another interesting thing about going back to our competitors, Juventus is looking at Greenwood. What do you guys think of Greenwood? Should we be worried about Greenwood? For some reason, I'm not worried about Greenwood at all. That's just me. Wayfair, 11 minutes ago, Milan interested in this player, Wayfair, 25 million. Don't know who he is. L'Atalanta deve decidere se riscattare Holm. Zaniolo. What's happening with Zaniolo? Fiorentina trying to get Zaniolo. That could be interesting. Interesting destination for Zaniolo. Interesting. Okay, so let's see what other rumors we had. Let's discuss those. What's happening to Berardi? Good question. You worried about? No, I'm not worried about Greenwood. Not at all. I don't think that's a good signing, but some other people disagree. I don't know much about Greenwood, to be honest with you. I don't know. Keep the girls of Milan away from Greenwood. I know that. That's the only thing I know about Greenwood. I don't know anything else about him. What is happening to Berardi? Berardi is being linked to Juventus right now. But Berardi, another one, he's coming off an ACL. So him, Scalvini, Udoge are all players that I don't see them being on the market. I mean, you're getting a player that won't be ready for a while. Maybe Berardi can be ready actually because he got it in the middle of the season. So yeah, Berardi will be ready too.
Yeah, Roy, my bad. My phone overheated. Stupid.
Edison, hold on. There's a lot of noise coming from your.
Okay, let me.
Edison says, "You ready for our derby, Roy? 50K Albanians and 31K Italians in the seats." Bruv. I was looking at a video of the Albanian national team training. We're all talking in Italian. The trainers are talking Italian. The players are talking Italian. Then I looked at the roster. Like, all that fucking team plays in Italy. They're all fucking playing the Serie A, and they're all like good players in the Serie A too. So now that explains why these guys made it to the Euros, because that team is all Serie A players that play in, like, important teams. And so, yeah. Yes. All right, Clint. So what else you got, man? What else do we have?
Yeah, man. It's it's just more we can talk Euros. Oh, bro, it is flooding like a motherfucker. I'm driving in fucking some floody stuff. Thank God I got an SUV. Oh my God. But yeah, it's now I want to speak about the Euros. I don't know if you got any transfer news or any of that. It's yeah, there's not too much traction right now in terms of like the transfer, but
It's
Boris
just
Juvenal, that guy, like, what's up with him? I hear he's on Napoli's radar, Milan. I don't know who's getting him fined like after this.
At the end of the sorry, man, I gotta mute you, bro.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
At the end of the day, I really don't know. The really only big thing that we can discuss today is Zirkzee, and that's the only stuff that seems to be relevant. Everything else right now is just names being thrown at us left and right. What do you think of Rabiot? We're being linked with Rabiot. What do you think about him?
Not a fan. The mother's problematic. I already said in the other chat. I mean, we need a DM. For me, having Rabiot is like, you already have RLC, so why are you getting a Rabiot? I feel like they're similar styles, to be honest with you. Big guy, he's not a DM. He's more of a like, of a CM, like, center midfield, big. I'm not interested, and he has high. The only reason he's leaving Juve is because he has like higher fees.
Yeah.
That's the reason he's leaving Juventus. Nothing else. Oh my God, this is bad. Yeah, but hold on, bro.
Clint is meeting up with Dua Lipa. I've seen a lot of Instagram videos of Dua Lipa and people complaining that her songs are all copied. Like she copies songs. She what's the word? Plagiarize. She plagiarizes a lot of songs. Her music is plagiarized. I don't know. I'm not saying that. I am not saying that, guys. I'm not making that claim. I'm just seeing a lot of videos claiming that. And they show examples of songs that are being plagiarized. Okay, so yeah, the Rabiot thing for me is very
what do you think about that? No, hey Chris, I'm not meeting with Dua Lipa, but it's because there's Houston floods. Anybody that's from Texas know like Houston floods, and I end up on a floody street. So I'm driving carefully, like going through, but I just passed that whole flood piece, man. It's such a shitty place. Anyway, but I wish I was meeting with Dua Lipa, shit. But I'm not convinced with Rabiot, man. And Roy, you know how much he makes at Juventus? Bro, come on, bro. Like, you think we're gonna be paying that money? I think he was making at least gross. Was it like 7 or 9, if I'm not mistaken? Like, bro, we don't have that. And I think the main reason he's leaving, like,
I don't believe it.
Yeah, he wants more money. So he's not going. That's the reason he left PSG in the first place. And you gotta, dealing with his mom is like kind of like dealing with Wanda Nara. They're similar. Like, I'm being serious. Like, his mom is Asian. So good luck. Yeah, it's gonna be.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah,
it's like
I'm not interested. Yeah, I'm not interested in him. He's good for another team. We need a proper DM. I don't want another alternative, another like, oh, he can also play DM type players. No, we need somebody that can actually fit that mode, that can play that position. That's what I need. Spinazzola on the free. He'll be a good deal backup. I'll get him. I'll get him right away. I don't even know why nobody's even looking at Spinazzola. Spinazzola.
Oh, Spinazzola, yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
I don't know why nobody's now even looking at him. So that's another one that I feel like will be good. Yep.
So are you ready for the official conference tomorrow? Fonseca? What's this?
For Fonseca? Nah. Not interested.
Oh, dude, your line is crazy, Clint. Clint, your line is crazy.
Hold on, let me mute myself. Hold on, I'm about to get to. I'm gonna mute myself.
What's up? Who's this?
Yo, Roy, it's Rock.
Hey, Rock. What's up, man?
What's up? Long time no talk. How are you, my friend?
Good, good, good. Tell me, what's up, man?
Nothing much. Just
look at this goofy. Look at this goofy boy. Look at this goofy ass boy, son. Yo, goofy.
Clint, why
yo,
are you
big
in
ass
a
goofy boy.
Category 5 hurricane? What the fuck are you doing?
I am though. I am in a Category 5 hurricane. That's a sad word.
Are you paddling in a freaking like emergency rescue raft? Like, what are you doing?
Emergency rescue raft.
No, bro. Like lately, my car, bro. Like, thank God. I know.
God damn.
So, Rock, what's up with you, man? How's everything? What do you think about the Milan situation? You've been pretty opinionative.
I've been, dude, you know me. I've been up and down with this team. But I actually got married. I'm going on my honeymoon. Bought a house.
Oh, nice! Congratulations, man.
Thank you. So I've just been super busy and kind of out of the loop. I have been following all the lives and watching and the replays and everything to catch up.
Nice.
And obviously the WhatsApp chats. But yeah, man, it's just Zirkzee. I really hope it gets done. I think it's going to be very embarrassing if it doesn't get done at this point. It's giving me flashbacks to how the Thuram deal was handled as well. We leaked it to the press. We talked about it constantly. We made public statements that the deal was practically done. Even like referencing his father's time with it and all that stuff. And then we got embarrassed in the end because of a 500K euro difference in the players' demands and what we were willing to pay. And then now we have a 5 million euro difference between the fee from Kia and what we're willing to pay in commissions. After so much talk and bluster about this being our guy, our main target, this is going to get done, he's our guy. Ibra convinced him, all this stuff, and they can't get it done. I mean, it's just, it's embarrassing, dude. And then I'm telling you right now, here's my
what are your predictions?
My predictions are it has to get done, or they're going to look very bad. Like, it has to get done. Or if it doesn't get done, I think these guys are going to go pay the 27 million release clause for Zirkzee. And they're going to say, oh, this guy's a great striker. He's a finisher. He had 28 goals. He's great. And, that guy's just, just another Piontek. He's just a one-season wonder. He's 28 years old already. It's just, they're going to have to go for plan B, plan C, plan D. And then they're going to come out and say, oh, no, that was our plan A all along. Yeah, okay, sure it was. It's just...
Is that what you see might happen most likely for you?
Yep. I also think that this Locatelli thing, listen, I get that. I mean, not Locatelli. Sorry, I keep calling him Locatelli because I call him the French Locatelli. Rabiot. Rabiot is the French Locatelli. Listen, he's a quality center mid. Don't get me wrong. He's a quality center mid. He's a World Cup winner. He plays for France. I get all of that. But I'm telling you this right now. This is my hunch. These guys have been looking at algorithms and stats for him, and they think he's a DM. Because he played DM for France, because he has some defensive stats. Some, okay? Decent. But in Serie A, defensive midfield is the last position this guy wants to play. He's super attack-minded. He never wants to play defense. It's just, His mom comes out. She's a Karen. She's going to be like, he's not playing in his preferred position. He's not playing. All this BS he's going to come along with, plus the high wages. For me, Rabiot, I would not go for him. He's not what we need. These guys think that he's a DM. They legit are using stats and data, and they think that he's a DM. He's not a DM. He's a center mid.
Yeah, he likes to do those incursions in the box. He likes to play pretty high up the field.
It's the same mistake as last market. Last market, Thuram was our guy. We need a striker. Thuram this, Thuram that. And then ended up with Jovic, for fuck's sake. And then we need a DM. Oh, Reinders is good at holding the ball. He can ping the ball around. Like he can play that position. He can play DM because he had some defensive stats and AZ Alkmaar. Like they're making the exact same mistake again, missing out on their top striker target, and then signing what they think is a DM, but it's actually just a center mid. It's just the exact. It's rinse and repeat.
You said, what about Emerson Royale? You think he can be a good signing?
You know what? I like this guy's a meme, right? I totally get that. He's failed a lot. He's embarrassed himself for Brazil in some games. He's embarrassed himself at Tottenham in some games. And people like to banter this guy, and he's like a laughing stock. I totally get that. And but I actually think this is a decent player in the right environment with the right instructions, tactical instructions from a coach. If you put belief and faith in him, and if he gets support, like his own fans bantered him from the day he signed, like not just for Tottenham but also for Brazil. But at Betis, he was incredible. I actually think he has a lot of quality, but has been in very toxic environments and hasn't been supported at all wherever he's played.
So I think I only saw him play when he played against us, and I barely remember him, to be honest with you. So I can't really judge him because I haven't watched his highlights either. But who would you compare him to in the Serie A, to give me an idea?
Who would I compare him to in the Serie A? I mean, just the way he runs, his gait, like the way he moves. I kind of see like Dumfries, but without the defensive qualities and maybe a little bit less aerial ability.
Without defensive quality. So Dumfries without defensive qualities.
With less defensive qualities. I mean, maybe,
really?
I mean, on his day, maybe similar defensive qualities. But the way he carries the ball, the way he runs, the way he moves, like his mobility is like kind of similar to Dumfries in a way.
So, but he's an offensive fullback, essentially.
I mean, he can be. The thing is, this guy has had so many different coaches for club and country.
Sorry, Rob. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
For club and country, he's been deployed so many different ways. It's a hit or miss. He can play attacking football. He can also sit back and play defensively, like almost like a Walker without the speed, and without the pedigree probably. But I think Walker's a bit overrated to be honest. But
do you think that Dumfries has good defensive qualities?
I think he has good physical qualities. I think he's aggressive, and I think he's good in the air.
And Emerson Royale doesn't have that.
No, I mean, he does a little bit. I mean, again, I've never seen this guy hit his full potential. At Betis, he was a demon. He was all over the place. He was up and down the pitch. He was slide tackling. He was good defensively. He was good at attacking. He put in good deliveries. Like, he was really good there. So I just don't know. I mean, it could be just all of the turmoil around the clubs and the different coaches, and this guy's lost, and he just hasn't been given a clear project, and clear instructions. So I don't know exactly what kind of player he'll be for us. And the player that I think he is changes. Like every season, he shows something different. So I don't know, man. I do think he's going to be an upgrade on Calabria if he can stay fit, because he's just stronger. He has more experience. I wonder if he has. I think he definitely does have more national team caps than Calabria does for Italy. I think he has more for Brazil.
Is he actually? Does he play for the Brazil national team?
I think he is going to be called up.
Let me check his caps.
I don't know if he's going to start, but I think he will be called up. So, I mean, we'll see. I wonder if he's called up for the USA game today.
What Emerson Royale, right? Or no?
Yeah. Check if he's in the Brazil squad for today for USA. I wonder if he is.
Wait. No. Emerson Royale is another player. What's this guy's name?
Emerson Royale with an E at the end, I think.
And he plays for Tottenham.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, what's the price? They're saying 20. And then Matty
he's got
Cash,
no caps for Brazil.
he's at no caps.
He's played with a U20, with a U23. Oh no, he's got 10. Sorry, my bad.
10.
He's got 10.
Yeah. How many does Calabria have? I mean, maybe it's similar. Probably equal.
Probably. Maybe less.
Maybe less.
Calabria's probably 5, I would guess.
Yeah, it's just one of those, man. And then Matty Cash, it's interesting because we're also interested in Matty Cash. I'm guessing this guy's in a similar 20 to 30 million price range, and that's the budget they've allocated to that right back position. But that guy's like pure attacking. Like he's basically like a winger. I like Matty Cash a lot.
I have a question about that player. I do have a question about that player.
Okay.
And it's his value. So apparently he cost 30 million. For me, that is a very strange price coming from the EPL. 30 million is what in Italy we consider 5 million, 10 million. So that's a really strange price. I wonder why he's evaluated so low by the club.
So he's at Aston Villa, right?
Yeah.
There's a list of Premier League teams who are out of compliance with UEFA financial fair play, and Aston Villa's on that list of teams, and they've been given a deadline of what their balance sheet has to look like, and I forgot when the deadline is.
Okay.
I think it's like a month from now or something like that. So someone can check that in the comments, but so a lot of those teams are actually having fire sales on some players, and I guess Matty Cash is one of those players. I actually really like this player. I have seen him play for his national team, and I thought he was really good. Great quality feet.
Okay.
Amazing delivery. Good finishing. Good composure in the opponent's half. But he doesn't defend. Like he's Ben Chilwell on the right side.
Okay, I see.
So he's that kind of player. You're not going to get much defensive output from your right side with Matty Cash if you're playing with Pulisic on the right.
Now, how do you think Fonseca is going to play? How do you think he's going to deploy his formation?
What was the very last formation he was playing with Lille? Wasn't he playing? Wasn't he playing
4-2-3-1? I think.
I thought he did something else.
Let me check.
Someone said in the chat that at the very last few games for Lille, he was doing something crazy, like a 3-4-3 or something like that.
Okay, the last game he played was a 4-2-3-1.
4-2-3-1. I know that's his preferred formation, but didn't he play a 4-3-3? And then someone in the chat said he did a 3-4-3, but I doubt that.
Yeah. He's done 3-4-3 in the past, yeah. And he's also done 4-3-3.
Yeah, those are his 3 formations. I'm assuming he's going to play a 4-2-3-1 here. Dude. Yo, look at the 2 coaches just like imagining the formation and then imagining the players in that formation. Dude.
Oh, man.
Dude, holy shit. Imagine a right back that can't defend. Pulisic on the right. No out-and-out defensive midfielder, and you're going to deploy the 4-2-3-1.
Yeah.
If we play Inter with Matty Cash as the right back, we get fucked up.
Yeah, it's another one of those. It's going to be
fucked. What do you think about so the other strikers that we've been linked to? Dovbyk at Girona, but now he's linked to Atletico Madrid. but he had a good amount of goals. He's the big Ukrainian guy.
Yeah.
He's a bomber. He's a totally different player to Zirkzee. That's another thing is like, is Fonseca advising them on what kind of players he wants and how he's going to deploy the team? Because if your alternative to Zirkzee is Dovbeek, then you're probably not listening to the coach. Like these are two totally different players.
Well, there is a media narrative regarding this. So what
Okay.
they're saying in the media is that the team has already decided on Zirkzee regardless of Fonseca. They're going to get this player. They didn't ask Fonseca about this player, but all the players after Zirkzee, they're going to be in conjunction with Fonseca. This is what the media is saying. Take it however you want, but that's what's being reported.
Okay. I mean, isn't he Zlatan's choice? Like Zlatan personally, did the outreach and talked to the player, and the player looked up to Zlatan. It was his role model, whatever. So I feel like this is like Zlatan's guy. Like Zlatan really wants this guy.
I see Zlatan wanting Zirkzee. I mean, it's a good choice. I think it's a good choice, and it's the kind of player. But it is similar to what Zlatan was doing a few years ago when he was kind of being like a offensive playmaker. It is that kind of position that Zirkzee does, a very unique position. And also, I think he's the only one out of all the strikers that we're looking at that plays that way.
Yeah, exactly. If we want to play pretty football, I feel like we kind of need Zirkzee to do that.
Right, exactly.
Like they have to get him. There's no alternative to him if for the style of football that they want to play, that Fonseca apparently wants to play.
Yeah, that's right. Because it's possession based, and you're going to need a player that can hold the ball in those spaces. So, but do you think that's the right choice, though? Do you think that it should be Dobrik? Because, like, let's say we can't get Zirkzee, they have to get a striker because they have to fill that void. If they get another striker, what do you think?
I objectively really like Dovbyk. I just don't think he's the striker that can play the style of football Fonseca wants to deploy. So he's going to have to rethink how he wants to play and shuffle things around. So I like objectively stripping away all of the context. I like Dovbyk as a striker, but he is not the type of striker that Fonseca wants, like at all. So, and then you have like Sorloth, who's another big target man in La Liga, who bagged a ton of goals. But again, totally different type of striker than Zirkzee. I don't know who a good alternative. Zirkzee is a very unique player, actually, if you think about it.
Yeah, he is. Absolutely unique.
It's very hard to find an alternative. The closest thing I could think of to Zirkzee is, I don't know, maybe like Lautaro before he was Lautaro, before he became like a clinical finisher, like someone who drops back, helps in the build up, throws his weight around, can attack the depth when it's there, can jump his man if it's, a mismatch. Like I see him, if he can become a clinical finisher, I see him putting up, those kind of numbers in the future.
Yeah. If he can become a clinical finisher, also that will make him one of the most, one of the best players in Europe. If he can play that way and become a clinical finisher and do it in Europe, if he can do that in Europe, because that's what we really gotta see if he can do it in Europe. Now, I agree. If Dobrik comes, then that means that the game has to change. It has to be just a little bit more direct. It means that the center forward is going to be moving forward rather than backwards. But does that mean more goals? And is that something that you think is a better payoff?
You know what? I like both styles of play. I think they can both be successful with the right players in the positions. But both styles of football require an industrious, like huge engine defensive midfielder who collects every single second ball. And if he's not collecting second balls, he's challenging for first balls. Like if you want to be direct and play narrow and go straight to goal and like brave, football, lumping the ball up, collecting those second balls, like jamming, your play down your opponent's throats with a striker like Dovbyk, you need like a massive presence in the midfield still. And if you have Zirkzee and you want to build up the play, you want to connect the back to the midfield and the midfield to the front, and then come back to the midfield, and you want to pull your opponents out of position, and you want to create space in behind, and then you want to transition quickly into that space and like create the space first with Zirkzee. You still need a really good, maybe a slightly different defensive midfielder. Like,
yeah, but just a little bit less. He can be you can pay the price, and he can be a little bit less. I agree.
Yeah, you can pay the price a little bit. So it really depends on who they get for that role. Like if they get Rabiot and Dovbyk, I don't think it's gonna work. If they get Fofana and Dovbyk, I think it could work. Like if you get Kessie and Dovbyk, I think it could work.
Right.
Like it really depends. Like those two positions have to be.
Yeah.
They have to kind of mesh well with each other, right? They have to be in line with one another. The style of those two and the quality of those two positions, they have to match up well to play the style of football you want to play. But if they get a mismatch, like if they get a DM who's like, I don't know, like a Rabiot, or like someone who is attack minded, who doesn't like going into those fights, who, in the last quarter of a game, the last 25 minutes or so, doesn't want to fight anymore, doesn't want to go challenge for those first balls. If they get a DM like that and a striker like Dovbyk, it's not going to be worth it. Those extra goals are not going to pay off. You're going to concede.
Yeah.
So.
Yep, I agree 100%. Now you wanted Sesko, right? So why did you want Sesko so much? What's the deal with Sesko?
There's just something about this guy. That sounded so sus. No Diddy. I like this player, man. There's something about the trajectory of his youth and career overall. Like it's so similar and analogous to Haaland. And I know he might never get to Haaland's level, but it's so similar in the trajectory that I think this guy in the next, was he 21, just turned 21. I think he's going to be a top striker. The thing is with us as Milan fans is we want results right away. And we've been waiting decades, so there's really very little patience for players. But I do think Sesko is a player that could do it very well in Serie A. Like
what about him do you like? What qualities about him do you like?
I actually think he's similar to Zirkzee a little bit, tiny bit. You know what? A little bit, not a ton, but he is similar to Zirkzee. He does, in the games I've watched him play, he does drop back, and he plays like Kane a little bit. Like he drops back, he does the one touch, he holds the ball well, he attacks the depth with his passes. Like I actually think he has pretty good hold up play for a 20-year-old, 21-year-old kid. But even though that's not his style of play, like this is a bomber. Like this is a guy whose shot power is freaking 99, who finishes everything in the box, who's always lurking around the last defenders. He's that style of striker, but he can do both. Like get you a man that can do both. He can drop in. He can keep possession. He can hold the ball well. And this is before he's even reached his full maturation, like this, he's still going to grow a lot too. I think that this guy has the potential to be a top 5 striker in Europe in the next few years. That's why I wanted him. He was more like a pick for the future type of player. I mean, his heading ability, like he's just, but again, it's a different style of play, right? He's with a little bit more build-up play ability.
I've seen his highlights, and that's all I've seen. One thing that has really impressed me about him is just his age and his size. Like he looks like he's a mature athlete. Like for his age, looks like he should be 27, 28. So he definitely has a genetic thing going on for him there.
Definitely. I've actually seen Sesko juggling. Like I've watched some of his like little training videos and things like that, like apart from the games. This guy juggles the ball like Ronaldinho. Like This guy can do freestyler moves with the ball. His calves, he looks tall and skinny, right? But his calf muscles are huge.
Oh
Like,
no, he looks impressive to me for a
I
football
think
player.
he's
He
going
looks
to be
very
a
impressive.
beast. Like, I think this guy's going to be a
I
beast. And
think he already is a beast the way
he has
he
really
is. Right?
quality feet as well. Like, the way he juggles the ball is like really good quality.
Yeah, would you have chosen him over Zirkzee this summer?
I would have. Yeah, I really wanted Šeško. I'll die on that hill.
Yeah.
I really, really wanted Šeško. One thing that concerns me about Zirkzee, even though I really like this player, is in the last 3 seasons, he has been out injured for 200 days.
What?
That is a lot.
This season?
In the last 3 seasons, he's been out injured and he's missed 200 days of football. Okay. That's a lot. I went ahead and compared those numbers to Šeško and compared them to other players. It concerns me a bit. I'm not going to lie. Like, you're talking, over 60 days missed, and the year before 89.
Are you talking about game days? No, not on game days.
No. I'm talking about days in general. Games, okay. I think, what did he miss? Like 20, 23 or 25 games. Not a crazy amount of games, but I just don't like that he was not able to train. Like, he wasn't able to get back to his prime and his elite levels because he was not able to train at all for 200 days in 3 seasons. That's scary for me. Like that's a player who might not be able to give everything and realize his full potential because of the fear of possibly missing out, So as long as he's completely 110% overcome that, great. I'm all for it. But it is a concern in the back of my mind about him.
Interesting. Yeah.
I wasn't
aware of that.
It could be a reason why Bayern, if he's available for 40 and Bayern has a 50% discount on that, and Bayern literally only has Kane, every other forward they have plays on the wing. Their other forward is Muller, plays in freaking midfield now, doesn't even play in the striker position at all. I don't know why they wouldn't pay 20 mil to bring Zirkzee back.
Well, that's still a possibility.
It doesn't make sense to me. They should bring him back. If I was Bayern, I would bring him back.
Yeah.
50% discount. I mean,
all right. I've one more question. Then I gotta go. Lukaku, Zirkzee. What do you think of that combination? What do you think of Lukaku up top?
Dude, Lukaku is just one of those players that I don't even know what to think about this guy sometimes. I think we do need an alternative to Zirkzee. Like, I think people are really excited about Zirkzee, and I am too, but I don't think that's enough at all.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm excited about him. I admit I am, but I know that it's not enough.
Yeah, like if he goes injured, who are we playing there? We're playing Okafor, I guess. But again, him and his health issues and injuries, and then who are we going to put? Jovic? Like, Jovic, as soon as he gets a fat contract, that guy's going to sit on his ass. He's not going to train hard. He doesn't have the right attitude whatsoever. He's literally just twerking for a contract right now and nothing else. So, like, we don't have depth in that striker position at all. So for that reason alone, and I'll give you a couple of other reasons too, I would bring in Lukaku to alternate with Zirkzee. Yeah. Especially on the type of opponents that we play. Like, Zirkzee is not always going to be the best option,
Yeah, that's right.
He's 100%. Not always for teams that sit deep and, teams that are, organized extremely well and defend so aggressively. Like, you might need someone like Lukaku that you can lump the ball up to, who occupies the space of 3 defenders and still wins that ball, and one of your midfielders comes and collects that second ball and scores. Like, you might have to play that way, especially if you're competing in Serie A. So, like, Zirkzee is not the type of striker you need for every single game. So who's going to do that role then?
Yeah, I totally agree. You need more.
You need more. So I would.
And that's just the offense. That's just the offense. You need more in midfield. You need more in defense. You need more in the coach also, maybe. What about the coach?
Okay, I'm back now. Can you guys hear me well? Sorry.
Dude, I'm a Fonseca out. I'm gonna be honest.
Oh shit!
I don't believe in this guy at all.
Oh,
The only silver lining with this guy is that he speaks all of those languages, which I have been begging for a long time, is to get a coach who can communicate, across cultural boundaries and speaks multiple languages. We have a very internationally, globally represented team, and I feel like that's something we've always needed and have missed in recent years, is someone who can truly communicate well with the players, give them clear ideas. So I think that's good. But other than that, I mean, this guy gives total beta cuck energy to me.
Yeah,
oh, damn.
let me
Dude.
add to this stuff. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Real
Yeah,
quick, let me
so
give my Fonseca a quick little,
go.
overview of
Okay,
my
go ahead.
thoughts on it. Like, every video I watch of this guy in locker rooms giving speeches, it doesn't matter if he's talking to youth players, like top clubs in Ukraine, or a team that's fighting to like become a better team. This guy is so nervous when he talks. He's always constantly rubbing his palms and hands together, like tripping over his words. Like, what are you so nervous about? Like, you're supposed to be a commanding presence in the locker room. You're supposed to be the voice of reason. Like, your players are supposed to be hanging on your every syllable. Like, your tone is supposed to literally like invigorate the soul of your players. And this guy can't even command a freaking porta potty. Like, he's so weak when he speaks.
Damn. Wow.
His demeanor, oh God, dude, his
But
demeanor is the worst.
that was a heavy criticisms.
I'm
Heavy
sorry,
criticism.
man. I hope to be wrong. As always, guys, every negative opinion, we hope to be wrong, because at the end of the
Yes,
day, we're all Milan fans that want to
that's
see
true.
Milan succeed. It's not me being negative, it's me giving my opinion. And guess what? I hope I'm freaking wrong. I hope I'm totally wrong.
But yeah, that's a strong opinion. That's a very
Weak,
strong opinion.
weak, weak, weak. I mean, you can tell by his wages. You can just tell
Ooh,
by his wage demands that this guy's like, dude, it's not what we needed. Literally, we needed a super strong personality, someone with some history of, trophies, winning pedigree, a man's man, not to be toxic masculine or whatever, but we truly needed a man's man, like someone who rallies warriors. Like, that's what this team needed, because what you saw last season was basically, like the prisoners running the prison. That's what you saw last season. You saw players who were checked out, recording in the studios, doing photo shoots for magazines twice a week, slacking off in training. If you were a member of Milan's YouTube channel and you watched training sessions, you saw a totally distracted, unmotivated team of players. Okay, if you saw the way they warmed up before games, like, it was a joke. Pioli became way too friendly, way too nice, and too much of like we won that Scudetto together. We're all equals. Like, that was all of our victory. It wasn't like a. So that's the energy and the vibe that the team had. Like, everyone was on the same playing field with each
they all
other,
got too comfortable. They all
and
got too
it became
comfortable.
way too comfortable, right? So we needed a guy who could come in and be like, you guys won a Scudetto? Guess what? I won fucking 3 Scudetto. I won 5 league titles with Porto. Like, this, that one Scudetto doesn't mean shit to me. You guys need to get your shit together and become a serious team again. Because what I see is a
Ooh,
bunch of clowns and jokesters.
damn. So who would
That
you want? Who was your ideal candidate?
I mean, we had a lot of options, dude. Like, I personally really liked Conceição because of his energy. Like, I was watching his videos, his Instagram reels, of just the way he talks to his players, the way he engages, the way his aura. Like, that was a strong fucking aura from that guy. So I liked him.
He's like a nut a little bit.
Oh my gosh. I mean, look at the way he got Porto to play against Europe's best teams.
But
He
the real question
frustrated
here,
the
right?
hell out of everyone, dude.
Yeah, and the
Everyone
real
was
question
scared to
here,
pull, dude. Everyone was scared to match with Porto in Champions League draws. When you got Porto, you didn't celebrate that you got Porto, even though Porto plays in the Portuguese league. Even though Porto is like, not maybe one of the elite clubs that are always going to win, right? But if you drew Porto in the Champions League drawing, you weren't fucking celebrating and jumping up and down like, yes, we got Porto. No, you were stressed out. You were worried. And that's Conceição. Conceição created that team. He created that stress.
Well, okay, I'll be honest. For me, Porto's always been that kind of team, but I agree that Conceição embodies that, and he has the pedigree to back it. You know,
definitely. I mean, I like Mota. I like De Zerbi still available. De Zerbi still out there. Like De Zerbi's a lifelong Milan fan. Like Milan.
Product. So what is your prediction for the season? Like, where do you think? What do you think Fonseca will do? Because it's very dystopian almost. So, like, do you think he's going to completely fail?
I'll give you my answer in the present tense, right? Because a lot could still happen. Like, I'm looking at Juventus. If Juventus gets Calafiori and Buongiorno and Mason Greenwood, and they're already, brought in Mota, and they go get these other guys that they're linked to, we lost second position already. That's done. Like, in my opinion, if it all gels for them, if it all comes together for them, they hold on to all their top players too. Mota convinces Chiesa and gets the best out of him again. Like,
no, there's already a falling out. He doesn't want Chiesa over there.
We'll see. There's always like,
but even if he goes, they can replace Chiesa. Giuntoli is good. He knows how to do
they're going to be a worry for me. I know we always think Juventus is going to be a worry, but like they actually have a lot of good, rumors right now.
I already called it. I stick on my words. I said Mota is going to fail at Juventus.
Really?
I'm saying that right now. Yep.
Well, you have to consider that Juve came off of a season where they were eliminated from Europe. So for them, there's a lot of energy going to this season to kind of reclaim that European status and stay in the Champions League. So Juventus is an ambitious club. Whether or not they're going to succeed or fail, I don't know. But I agree that the rumors that are surrounding them are more serious than the rumors that are surrounding us. I think that is a fair assessment. Yeah.
As things stand, it's not looking good for us. Like, if I'm being completely honest, they haven't signed the striker. All of the senators of the team left. Ibra is focused on 20 other business ventures on a weekly basis. He's nowhere near Milanello. He's nowhere close to the team. They haven't signed their top target. They're leaking everything to the press. Every player we're interested in is getting reported to the press. They're not closing anything. We haven't gotten a DM. At present tense.
But hold on.
Not looking good.
But also, like, the market hasn't even officially started. I mean, that is something also that we need to
consider. Of course. If it all comes, dude, if they go get Fofana, Amrabat, and they get Zirkzee, and they get Lukaku on loan, and if they go do all of those, they get Matty Cash or whoever, or Emerson Royale. If they go and do those moves and they don't sell Teo or Leao or Mike or someone else to do it, we could be in a very good position. My tone will completely change. I'll have a brighter outlook on the potential of our season. Of course. But none of those things have happened yet.
Yeah, but here's my big question mark, Roy. I have two things to add here, right? And Rock, I agree with you. Here's the real question we need to ask ourselves, right? Number one, if all Milan fans knew that Fonseca was the second in line after the Lopetegui debacle, I would have went for Lopetegui long time ago. That's one. No, I'm being so we didn't know.
No, it's true.
We thought,
dude, I agree.
And I think
so poorly to Lopetegui, dude. And I think the
frustration. And I think the frustration for us is like we thought we're like, okay, management is paying attention to what we're saying, so they might bring in a bigger name, and it's like, nope, we're gonna bring something even lesser than that, which makes me believe that maybe Fonseca was the guy all along. That's number one on that situation. Number two on this situation is Curva was outraged against Lopetegui, and now they went silent on Fonseca. Because Lopetegui was like the hashtag, it gained momentum that they heard. So with Fonseca, with Fonseca now, all of a sudden everybody is quiet. Now I want the transparency management needs to come out with transparency and tell us why did they pick him and not Lopetegui, and why they
Well,
even looking at
Eber's
both.
they'll tell us
gonna
tomorrow.
announce it tomorrow, dude.
Yep, they'll tell us tomorrow.
And Clint, stop asking for transparency from American business owners, dude.
We need to, or they're gonna get sued.
Are you serious? That's like asking water not to be wet, bro. That's
No, but
transparency. Even if they are transparent, it's fake transparency. It's PR. It's spin. It's not transparency. Whatever they come out and say and put under a veil of transparency, it's totally fabricated transparency.
I agree with Kango on this comment. Mason Greenwood was by far Man United's best player before his situation happened. He's still their best player. Even if he returns to that team, he's still their best player. He's better than Bruno Fernandes and all of them. That's why it was a hard time for Man United to separate from him. Like, Mason Greenwood is a good player. He just needs to get his form back.
I don't know much about him, and I know Rock, you're saying he was really good.
I'm a big Mason Greenwood fan.
So,
not of his personality or actions, but of his playing. Yeah.
So if he's better than Zirkzee and Sesko, then we're talking about one of the best players in the world, or like
no,
that kind
he's
of
not
class.
better than. I don't think he's better than Zirkzee and Sesko, but I think he could have just as many goal involvements as both of those players, just as many goals and assists.
If that situation were to not happen to him, you gotta understand he started at Man United really young. He was on par to be like in the Bellingham category easily. He was like best. He was the best English prospect before you even heard about a Bellingham. Like straight up, like Mason Greenwood was that top guy. Nobody had nothing on him. It's that shit popped up. That's what really happened. But
I don't know how old he is now, though. What is he? 26, 27?
No, not at all, bro. He's probably like
24.
He is 22.
22?
Yes, you gotta say Mason Greenwood started at 16, 17.
Why are we getting him?
He had 8 goals and 6 assists in 33 games in the Liga this year.
Yeah, we're Getafe.
At Getafe,
yeah. So and
what do you guys think of Juventus being linked to him? It seems like Juventus wants to try and get him.
So if they get him,
super smart move, intelligent move.
If they get him, it'll be a good move. It's just with Juve, I'm surprised. Juve needs creativity in their midfield, and I think once that's there with Vlahovic, they can be cooking. But I just don't see. I don't know. It's just me. I just have a gut feeling, bro. I just don't see.
Well, are they getting a new DM? Are they linked to any good DMs?
Well, they just got Douglas Luiz, right?
Oh, dude, what the fuck?
And they want
$60 million though, but come on, bro. 65, like, would you do that?
Bro, Douglas Luiz is a starting defensive midfielder for Brazil. He's a top player.
Yeah, but 65 million.
Dude, they paid 60 million for Casemiro. Casemiro is a retired potato.
Wait, hold on. So McKennie and Illing Jr. are going to Aston Villa. They're part of the operation. So cash, Juventus is paying a 18 million, something like that. But yeah, that's the evaluation of Douglas Luiz. I mean, Juventus doesn't care about prices. They paid all that fucking money for De Ligt. They paid all that money for Vlahovic. But anyway, their idea so far is Douglas Luiz, Coupe Miners. And I think if they can do
we're fine.
That's pretty big. That's pretty big.
If Mata can get all these players gelling, dude, we're fucked.
Now I don't know if Douglas Luiz is enough, bro. I can agree with that.
If they get him and Coupe Miners,
they gotta get
Douglas Luiz was better than any of our midfielders. So that's already.
Oh, you think so?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Of course. This is a starter for the
Brazilian bias.
He's a starter for the Seleção.
I know, but if he is a starter for the Brazilian national team, like there's not much you can argue there. I mean,
and
of course.
What's his name? Also a starter for Alexandro. It was also a starter for Brazil, and you know where he at. Yeah, so
the fullback position. The fullback position is the position we have struggled with for a minute now.
Yeah, it's anyway. But 60 mil for me, when I saw that price point, I'm like, Milan is that. I'd rather drop those prices on a forward than to put that on the midfield. I mean, we don't have that type of bank account. This is Italy. It's not the Premier League, so I just
I
don't
mean,
know about those type of
the
fees.
thing
But
is, that's a thing about, adapting to how we operate, as opposed to how they operate. Yeah, Milan 60 million. I don't think we've ever paid anybody 60 million ever in the history of the club.
Yeah, but if we do player exchanges and stuff, we do it Juventus style, maybe we could pull it off. But these guys aren't skilled negotiators. Like these guys are not talented, skilled, intelligent negotiators. Like they are. I don't think they're good negotiators like at all. They're terrible negotiators.
no, I think no,
Anytime
I wouldn't say that, Rob. I think they're
dude,
good
we have
negotiators
not been
outside of
able.
football.
We have
Outside of
not been
football.
able to convince a single player to take less money. We haven't convinced a single agent to take less commissions. We haven't convinced a single club to sell a player to us for a price that's lower than what we want, lower than what they want for the player. We have
But
not once.
you really. Okay, look.
You
See,
remember when
but
Chukwueze?
listen.
Remember when
Hold on. Give me a
Chukwueze
second.
took 2 months to
Hold on.
sign, and in the end they
Hold
ended
on.
up paying exactly what they wanted for
Hold
him
on.
in the
Yeah,
first
hold on.
place?
Give me a second.
They're
See,
not good negotiators.
let me say this. See, with the less money stuff, like, bro, the football landscape has changed so much now. It's no more about passion, bro. People got family to feed. Listen, especially if your project is not appealing in terms of winning league, I feel like the only club that can tell you right now, I think there's two clubs that can tell you take less money and join us. It's Real Madrid or maybe a Man City, where you guarantee. Any other clubs, I don't think they really have that leverage. Especially if the player know what he's worth, he's not gonna lower his salary if somebody is giving him 8 times the amount.
And the same
I'm
thing for
sorry.
agents. Do you know what Zirkzee's agent is telling him right now? He's going, listen, bro, this club doesn't even want to pay $5 million extra to sign you. This is not a serious project. Here's 3 other very serious projects of teams that are willing to pay you more and pay whatever you cost because they want you
That's what
so
Raiola
badly.
did.
You're the center of their project. That's how much they want you. This club, Milan, these guys don't even want to cough up an extra $5 million for you.
Yeah, that's exactly how Raiola operated.
It's not a serious
Rest
project.
in peace. Rest in peace, of course.
Yeah, it's not a serious project. Like,
Oh.
it makes us look less serious. When we get caught up on $5 million, this guy's willing to sign a 5-year contract. He's willing to give us the best years of his life.
I think personally, first of all, with Fonseca, I don't see us winning anything. Inter is gonna be strong. That's going to be. We might get the top 4 just with this team.
Yeah,
But
I'll give
but
you a
for
hot
me,
take.
it was just one of like it's a really poor move. Knowing this is one of the first time in football history in the 21st century where you had these much coaches, and the coaches that were free, you could have leveraged even top winners, and you didn't do it. And you go for him, but they really
That's
got to explain
crazy.
themselves. Why did you go for Fonseca when Conte was available, when the Tuchel was available? You don't have to like these guys, not because I like these guys, but there was way better profiles that were available, like the De Zerbi and all these
Pochettino,
guys,
Tuchel, De
Pochettino, all these
Zerbi.
guys.
Like,
You could
dude,
have got it. You going for Fonseca, you didn't might as well keep Pioli, and that's coming from me. Especially as I don't like Pioli. If
he's
somehow
Pioli with
you
hair,
can't keep
Wow,
Rossi.
that's
him.
crazy.
Pioli with hair.
I'm being serious. You was might as well keep Pioli. Why are you bringing Fonseca? I'm not
That's
saying it's the
crazy
end of the
coming
world.
from Clint. That's literally
Yo,
Yeah,
crazy coming
that
from
just to
Clint.
show
bro,
you. I agree, honestly. You probably were better
it's
off.
like because I'm looking, because the thing about why we're official with Fonseca has already played in our league. If we didn't know about him, then I can say, okay, we're overreacting because he hasn't been in Italy before. But he had Roma. People said that Roma team was lesser. Yeah, I don't care, bro. It's
You
like,
know
dude,
what's another issue?
we're
Fonseca's
we're
teams also suffer tons of injuries. I know he got new athletics trainers and staff, and the health of his team has been a lot better recently, like for like half a season. But prior to that, we're talking 4 or 5 seasons straight of injury crisis at every team that he's coached. That's a concern to me.
I don't know, but
Wow.
going back on that Xerxes situation, like I said,
Here's a hot take. Hot take. You ready? And this is going to sound really negative and pessimistic, but it's a hot take, so deal with it, okay? Fonseca will never, ever lift a trophy with Milan. Ever. And maybe the Trofeo Berlusconi or like some random shit like that, maybe. But this guy will never lift a major trophy with Milan ever. That is a fact. That might as well be a scientific fact. That should be codified in a code somewhere. That should be in a book printed. That should be printed in a
Maybe
book.
you just reverse jinxing though.
Hopefully, hopefully, I cannot even in my mind's eye, I cannot imagine this guy lifting a trophy like I just with Milan. Like nah, I can't even imagine it. Not even with my creative imagination. I can't even like picture it. No way.
I mean, I agree, Aven, yeah, but yeah, you would have to have a team that is just far superior than the other ones, and maybe you can think that Fonseca can do that. But our team is probably not going to be superior to Inter. I don't think so.
Yeah.
And if Juventus can do what they do, that's going to be really tough. And also, there are just other coaches that are better than him.
Yeah,
That
not
are
even, dude, not even then, Roy. Even if we had, dude, even if we signed Mbappe, I shit you not, if we signed Mbappe, Fonseca still won't win a single trophy with Milan. Mark my words.
damn. Okay, yeah, okay. Hey,
It will,
man.
He's
it will not make a difference. This guy does
he's
not have the
he's
personality.
he's also. I don't think he'll also be able to. I think what's dangerous too, right? He's coming in a year of international competition, so that's going to be a problem because he's not going to have enough time to prep before the league starts. I don't know if you see what I'm saying. Like he's not. I mean, especially like our top players of our team at least. They're playing international football. So I just don't know the look. I don't know. I'm not inspired by this deadline. Um, yeah, okay. After Zirkzee, who we really linked to, even the defenders. Dude, there's so much questions. There's so much gaps to fill, and I just don't know, man. It's not looking good. At least for
They
right now.
really
At least
fucked
in
up with
June,
the coach. In my opinion, they
not looking
seriously
good.
they seriously fucked up with the coach. In my opinion, like I've watched all the videos of his masterclass. Like I've seen all that stuff. I've listened to your guys' commentary on it. Like this guy deploys Pioli ball. This guy
Yeah,
literally plays Pioli ball.
exactly the same.
It's exactly the same football.
Like
Even the way he
literally to the
explains
T,
it
to the T.
to a T, it's the exact same football. And actually, I said this in the other chat way before you guys came out with lives watching his masterclass. Dude, as soon as they signed him, and I went and read his comp, I was like, this is Pioli ball. This is literally Pioli with hair. This is literally Pioli with a head of hair.
Yeah,
He deploys the exact same football. Now, I
exactly the
get that
same.
like modern football and like hipster football, it's all kind of similar. But like down to the way he even talks about it and describes his style of play, it's literally exactly the way Pioli describes his style of play too. Like down to how he describes it is the same.
Yeah. And he literally even did the exact same thing that Pioli did. So when he went in crisis, he did a 3-4-3 Fonseca with Roma, and Pioli also did that when he went into a crisis. He did a 3-4-3. So it's literally the same coach. It's literally exactly the
So
same
bad.
football.
Such a diabolical style of football. Like that football might work in like the fourth division and you have like a hipster team. You're playing with Venezia in like the second division and you got some like speedy players and you can do something. But dude, at the elite level, at the Champions League level against Madrid and City, if you put fullbacks of the quality of fullbacks that we have, if you put them in midfield and you play your defensive line at midfield, bro.
No, he's putting the fullbacks up in the cam position, dude. He's
Bro,
putting the fullbacks down the line.
that's diabolical.
Both of them, dude.
Diabolical,
Both
yo.
of them.
He really thinks he's playing video games out here, bro. Like,
Yeah, that's
where
what
is
it
the
looks like. That's what
there?
it looks.
That is totally absent of any semblance of practicality whatsoever. Like, this is like you're delusional. Like, what do you
Yeah,
think this is, bro? This is
yeah,
real
but
life. Like, this is real
yeah,
life.
this is real life. Exactly, this is real life.
real life against real men, against top competitions, against like like crazy aura coaches who can like command an army. If this was 1000 BC, they'd be commanding armies and shit. Like, what are you doing? Who do you think you are, bro?
Right.
What? Oh, also, I need to say this before we close. This guy, Diogo Leite,
Okay.
he is fucking trash.
Damn,
Like,
man. Wow.
ass.
I don't know this guy, so I have no opinion on him, right?
This
So
is
I don't know.
the way we are moving on this market is like clumsy elephants in a china shop. Like, bro,
So
first
what
first we were gonna get Thiago Santos, and then we're linked to, and then Emerson Royale, but it's like a little rumor, and then oh no, Matty Cash is our guy. Oh, actually, we're back to Emerson Royale, and now Diogo Leite. Oh my
who is this
god,
guy?
bro,
Who is it?
he's just a garbage player.
Where does he
Just
play?
absolute garbage player.
How do you know him? Like, how do you know him?
Watching all of his highlights,
Okay.
I've seen one game. Does he have a cap for Portugal? I think he might have a cap, at least at the U23 team. I think I watched him play for Portugal.
All right. So listen, guys. Last thing, then I really do have to go here
So
because
bad.
I have an appointment. So Roy, if Fonseca plays exactly like Pioli, having players like Zirkzee and Fofana wouldn't be better since we were missing the Casiro and Zirkzee having Giroud numbers. So yeah, I think
It could be, yeah. It could be better, yeah.
if you get the right players, it can be better. Yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
All right, guys. Listen, hey, Rock, thank you for coming up, man. It's good to see you.
For
Good
sure,
to hear
man.
from you. So come back.
Thanks
Clint,
for having me.
thanks for being here, brother. Sorry you couldn't get much in there.
I know, and then the rain went away as soon as I got on. But yeah, but the Euros, are you gonna be doing something for the Euros?
Yeah, we're gonna be talking about yours for sure. Yeah,
bro,
I'm
is
doing
Texas okay, bro?
No,
What?
it's good now, bro. It's
Y'all be having
hurricane season.
typhoons out there, man. Y'all be having
Yeah.
emergencies every time the weather hits.
Yeah, it's hurricane season. Yeah, I just went to do maintenance on my car, and then I ran into freaking a flooding zone. But everything's good though. But
All right, yo.
all
Guys,
right,
until
yo.
next
Yep.
time. That was fun.
Yep.
Have a good one, guys. Thank you for joining.
Yep.
Peace.
Yep. Ciao.
Everybody in chat, thank you for joining. Click like, subscribe to all that good stuff. We'll see you next time. Forza Milan. We will see you probably tomorrow and the upcoming days talking about the current Mercato. Ciao. Thank you. Bye.